the UP All-Star Football Game on Fox UP. Now, here are Ethan Schmidt and Jerry Tudor.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into the Superior Dome for the 10th annual UP High School Football All-Star Game. Now, last year's competition, it came down to a final play, giving Team North the victory over Team South. However, this year, the battle lines have been drawn differently. How? Well, a draft took place in March that put ahead teammate against teammate, friend against friend. However, I am Ethan Schmidt. Joining me and making a debut here is Jerry Tudor. Jerry, the battle lines, everything's been drawn differently, and it's almost like the storylines have been written for us.
That's right. You bring up a great point. Teammate against teammate. Now we have the black team versus the red team. We've got the best of the best from across the UP ready to play football here in the Superior Dome one last time. Should be a great game.
And it is the best athletes from both areas, and of course we'll have those right here on Fox UP.
Please remove your hats and observe a moment of silence to honor all of our troops that are fighting for our country overseas and around the world defending our freedom. We would like to extend a special thank you to the following All-Star players who have enlisted with the military and could not participate in this game. Jeremy Johnson from Forest Park, U.S. Army, and Sam Larson from Menominee, U.S. Army. Thank you. We are grateful for your service to our country. Now please join Ashley Newens from Bark River in the singing of our national anthem.
Florida license plate
A
87J.
beautiful rendition of the national anthem to get us started here from the Superior Dome in the 10th annual UP High School Football All-Star Game. Hello, everyone. I'm Ethan Schmidt, joined on this broadcast by Jerry Tudor. And Jerry, just a great way to start it all off.
Absolutely. That was probably one of the better versions I've heard of the Star Spangled Banner. Got some chills. And now we look forward to some great football. I'm excited. This game's going to be excellent, I think.
It should be that indeed. Team Black will start off on offense. I believe Team Red won the coin toss and elected to defer to the second half. So we'll see Team Black receiving. And, of course, we'll go through starting lineups as we get closer to the offense taking out. Both teams huddled up right now on their respective sides to get ready. We talked about the coaching family tradition over on Team Red. You have 3 members of the Kangas family for Team Red. On Team Black, you talk about experience. Marty Spencer of St. Ignace, and hey, who would you want as an assistant coach? Jeff Olson, the 3-time state champion coach from Ishpeming High School.
That's right, Jeff Olson making his 5th appearance here at the All-Star Game. Tons of experience. What more could you ask? And, of course, Marty Spencer with a pretty impressive record at St. Ignace as well, coming in at 146 and 68. Those 2 folks alone know how to get it done.
Well, John Pramsky will kick off for the red team. We have 2 guys back to receive. It looks like someone from Negaunee, I imagine Eric Hurst, and someone from St. Ignace. The front number's not that great, but we see a squib to start off anyway. A short field there. I believe that's Brendan Middleton of Lake Linden Hubble, and he gets about to the 34-yard line where he's going to be stopped, and that's where the Team Black will take over. And the guy that's going to start off there, well, it's going to be a St. Ignace Saint, Steve Ceccia, who's going to be starting at quarterback. He's going to have some guys in the backfield for him. Dan Nasserini of Forest Park. Another running back that we're going to see out of the backfield today is Isaac Olson of Ishpeming. Ivor Stenberg at receiver, along with A.J. Weisnick of West Iron County at tight end. Carter Tolaire of St. Ignace. And up front you have Ashok Ravendran, Jesse Helmanen, and you'll have Brandon Waldrop, Drew Marshall. And we'll see here the handoff goes to Dan Nasserini, and you have to wrap up big on this guy. Though a loss, a great defensive stop there for Team Red, as Dan Nasserini is going to lose about 4 on the play.
Yeah, it was a good stiff arm, but doing that stiff arm took away a little bit from his momentum, and they were able to bring him down for a loss.
So now we're looking at 2nd and 14. Over on the defensive side of things, we have a pretty good stout defensive side as well for the Team Red. That's led off by Trevor Roberts of Kingsford. We'll get to the rest of them here as Ceccia comes up to the line here. He's calling out a play, trying to check in. Got to get his running back there. I believe that's Isaac Olson that they're sending into the backfield now. 1 receiver split on the bottom of your screen here. The handoff, no, it's a fake. Ceccia rolls out. He's snuffed back there in the backfield. I believe that's going to be a big defensive stop there.
That's right, 2 plays, 2 tackles for a loss. The red team off to a good start.
Dante Thurston of West Iron County with the sack, and now we're looking at almost 3rd and forever. The rest of the defensive guys that we're going to see here, I mentioned Dante Thurston, and of course I have mentioned Trevor Roberts. We also have Chuck Golschel, Austin Curtis up front. Linebackers will have Corey Cody of Munising, Russ Bajorn. We'll also see Tristan Johnson, Brock Aho, and Chris Lemire of Escanaba in this defensive set. Well, here it is, Steve Ceccia, the first time, 3rd and long here. Rolls out, he's looking for an opening. He heaves it deep, he's got a man wide open down the field. It's caught, and he falls. No, it's dropped.
Yeah, 3rd and long, that's what you got to do, take a chance down the field. Why not? There's going to be a feeling out period here early on, both teams with such wide mix of talent.
Well, wide open, but the pass is dropped. That could have been a big first down. Instead, we're seeing 4th down. Check out the replay here.
Yep, rolling out and just heaves it. I mean, he got good air under that ball, and he is in the open, just catching it. Oh, it slipped right through his arms.
That's a big drop there. Unfortunately for Team Black, that was Ivor Stenberg of Bark River Harris, and now we'll see some punting duties here. And I believe that is Dan Nasserini back there to punt for Team Black. Bobby Kleiman back to receive from North Central. We'll talk about him in a second. He's not going to take it, though. He lets his other man take it, and that's a good return. About out to the 47-yard line is where Team Red will take over for the first time. That was Wyatt Goodwin on the return from Marquette.
All right, Ethan, who are we going to see on offense here for the red team?
For Team Red on offense, coming out at quarterback, we're going to see John Paramsky wearing the traditional number 50 for a quarterback. In the backfield for him, Austin Wicklund wearing a number 88. So some creative numbers here. Wide receivers, we're going to see Bobby Kleiman and Wyatt Goodwin. Justin Ball of Norway at tight end. A few guys up front, Jason Sutherland, Jacob Paquette, Braden Wickstrom, Travis Christensen, and Sam Collins. And we start off in shotgun formation here for Paramsky. Handoff. Is it a reverse? Yes, it is. Goodwin back to Paramsky. They're looking for Kleiman, and Kleiman's guarded well, but he's going to make the catch. Bobby Kleiman, what a catch at the 25-yard line.
Wow.
They said Team Red practiced more this week than Team Black, and already the first down of the game, Paramsky heaving it on a triple reverse. Let's call it it's a double reverse.
Yeah, we got to look at it.
Double reverse pass.
Look right here. Going deep, some trickery right off the start. Good coverage, but he was just able to come down with it and wrestle it away. The ref rules it a good catch. Big play on a trick play to start.
Well, Marcus McKinney out there trying to guard Bobby Kleiman, and you can ask anybody in 8-man football, it's almost physically impossible to guard Bobby Kleiman. Here's John Paramsky now. He's going to keep it, trying to muscle it through. Ball's on the turf here, and it's recovered by Team Black. So a big recovery by the defense already. A man up front there, number 25 on Team Black. Check out the replay here, Neil Violetta.
Yeah, popped loose a little. I think maybe 64 had a little hand in that.
Michael Pizziola, the strip there from Nagani, recovered. Neil Violetta, Nagani.
Nagani working in concert here.
So now we get to see Team Black again. A good start, though, for Team Red. The trick play, the great catch by Bobby Kleiman, but John Paramsky puts the ball on the turf. And now Team Black comes back out here. Looks like we have a new quarterback in the game as well. The front number not great to see on a lot of these guys, but it looks like we'll have Jace Briggs of Bark River Harris at quarterback. Two guys behind him here. Handoff goes. Dan Nasserini lowering the shoulder, lowering the boom. And the future Michigan Tech Husky gets about a yard away from a first down.
There you go, some positive yards. That's what Team Black wants to see here. More of these players headed to Michigan Tech, right? From the Black team, we have Brendan Middleton from Lakeland and Hubble, Dan Nasserini from Forest Park, Ashok Ravendran from Ishpeming. Good showing here going to Tech.
Yeah, we have several players actually from the UP. Corey Cody on the Team Red, and also John Paramsky of Newberry will actually room with Dan Nasserini. I'll get into that story a little bit later. And, of course, Ryan Jones of Sault Ste. Marie, who is not here. So Jace Briggs has his team, actually, they mark him about 3 yards short of the first down now. So we have about 2nd and 3, and a timeout is called by Team Black. We're going to keep it here. We'll give you a little bit of what the rundown's been like for this game. A lot of great things going on. Talk about the draft kind of to start off with. The way that the draft worked this year thus far was the way that the draft was able to work thus far this year was we had coaches who had sons on the team, and those players got to go with coaches to those teams. So 4 on red, 3 on black. And that's where it started. Then the first draft pick went to Team Black because they had less players at that point. And the first overall pick was Dan Nasserini of Forest Park.
Yeah, and well, we're going to take a quick break here right now as the teams have their timeout.
So we have 2nd and 3 now on the 38 as we come back here to the Superior Dome for our 10th annual Uper Bowl, as it's commonly known up here. Jace Briggs on the keeper, and it's Team Red up front making a big stop. Several guys involved on that one. Getting the big tackle there, I believe leading the charge was number 66 for Team Red. That's Ryan Laurie of West Iron County.
Yeah, that line not giving too much there. I think maybe they don't want to took offense to seeing Black gain any yards. Hey, you mentioned this week, that was mentioned, that Team Red worked really, really hard during the practices.
They did. They said that a lot of times it was Team Red out there practicing Team Black. They were having a good time getting to see Marquette. Some of these guys probably for the first time getting to see Marquette. But we do have about 3rd and 2 now as Jace Briggs still under center here. He's got 2 backs behind him, one of those being Dan Nasserini. And the handoff goes to Nasserini. You got to wrap up, and Dan Nasserini fighting for yardage. And he's got the first down by a yard there. He's going to be brought down at the 42 for a first down, and the first down for Team Black.
That run was good enough for a black team.
Now, Ethan, you've been covering high school football up here for quite a while. What do you notice about Nasserini? He's a tough runner, huh?
Well, you know, Dan Nasserini, being at Forest Park this past year, switched back to 8-man football, or switched to 8-man football for the first time from 11-man football. I talked to Dan earlier this week, and I said, Dan, you're going to have to go back to 11-man football. What's that mean? He says, football's football. I'm here to play. And that's the type of running back, that's the type of talent that Dan Nasserini is when he comes out every single time. And it looks like Steve Cecilia is back is back in the game. He's got Isaac Olson to his right, rolling out, trying to find an opening. He's got a man cutting, Ivor Stenberg, but that one goes up in the air, and Cecilia 0 for 2 through the air today.
Yeah, actually, Team Red had a good shot at that ball, too. That kind of was broke up. Here's another look at that. You see another rollout to the right. Throws, good pass, got a good spiral on it. Just a little too far.
Tristan Johnson on the defense there over the top, making sure that one's not a big completion. And now Ivor Stenberg's been the target both times, and Cecilia has not been able to complete one to him. Stenberg, not the biggest player. You might want to hit him more on the numbers than try to make him go up for a jump ball, but we'll see what happens here. Now, 2 receivers split, one at the top of your screen, one at the bottom. It looks like Isaac Olson in the backfield with Cecilia. He's back to pass. A good rush on the outside. Try to get it to Dan Nasserini across the middle, and now the defense here playing big, offense stalling, 3rd and 10.
Yeah, you mentioned that good pressure inside, or from the outside rather, from the red. They're getting through. That's the defense going to work, doing what they do, finding holes, making some plays in the backfield, put some pressure on the QB, and that's the result.
Well, a lot of these teams, you'll see some similar helmet colors. The coaches, of course, trying to get their same players. Isaac Olson, Ashok Ravindran, Tanner Delangelo of Ishpeming all on one side. Coach Olson making sure he got his guys. St. Ignace, all 6 of their players on Team Black as well. We break the huddle here. Looks like it's a 2 tight end set. Dan Nasserini in the back, 2 receivers off the line. Cecilia still in at quarterback on 3rd and 10. Looks like they're going to try and go deep for it. A screen here. Nasserini, quick jump, but he's up, running, and getting close to the first down. He is just short on the marker, about a yard away. So the first 4th down, that's manageable for Marty Spencer and company. And Jared, do you go for it?
I do. I'm more bold in those kind of situations. It's early. Let's have another look at that play, though. You almost wonder if they let a little bit of the pressure come in, just kind of a dink and dump right over the top. He wasn't worried at all. There's Nasserini. He's able to get it. Good gain out of it.
Well, when you have a guy like Isaac Olson, you have a guy like Dan Nasserini, you run the ball. 4th and short, I think you try and power this one through, and I think that's what's happening. Isaac Olson actually called the play in the huddle here. And here's the thing, Dan Nasserini played quarterback a little bit this year at Forest Park. Isaac Olson's taken snaps as well in that ice offense there, and now we have some laundry on the ground here.
Flag before the snap. Dead ball, delay of game.
So a delay of game is called on the offense. Now you're backed up 5 yards, so you have a little bit longer for a first down. Does that change the play call? It does.
Yeah, not what I would have done. These are seniors who graduated, really. They're not going to get another chance to play. I play a little fast and loose until we get later into the game.
Well, we'll see Dan Nasserini back to punt here. Back to return Wyatt Goodwin and Bobby Kleiman. Goodwin fielded the first punt. Nasserini gets a good snap. No rush. Punt goes over. Bobby Kleiman, is he going to field it? No, Bobby Kleiman decides better. A few players going down. Some players, they're wanting to go a little bit harder in this game, and you see some shoving there down on the ground because, hey, some of these guys are going a little bit harder than expected in an all-star game, and a lot of these players, like you mentioned, this is the last time that they're going to be in not only their high school uniform, because that's true, but also this is the last time a lot of these guys are getting a chance to play football.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, you better leave it all out on the field. What do you got to lose? So evenly matched pretty early on here. Still, 9:32 remaining in the first quarter.
And we're still scoreless here as Garrett O'Neill is in at quarterback for Team Red. He gives the handoff to his running back there and gets maybe a yard on the carry. Looks like that was Austin Wickland of Rapid River on the carry for Team Red. Garrett O'Neill, some interesting stats on him. If you watch track, you're going to know the name Garrett O'Neill. In Division III, he's got a few titles to his name. As he'll have two receivers split. Ball on the turf there, but he picks it up. Now he's making some moves, and he's only gaining about one there as well, so we're looking at 3rd down and 8 now.
You know, of course, all the skill players, they get a lot of the flash and pizzazz, but both lines so far, both on defense, are showing to be pretty skilled and not really giving a whole lot.
Well, it looks like it was play calls off the wristbands now as we head to about 8:48 remaining here in the first quarter. Garrett O'Neill has a 3rd down. He's back to pass. He had some rush there. He goes to climb, and it's way over his head and incomplete. That's going to bring up 4th down now and 8.
Yeah, both teams battling for field position here, still feeling each other out. That rush, I felt, that's what led to that pass, just kind of sailing above everybody.
Well, for Team Red, it's been trick plays that have worked for him. For Team Black, it's been running Dan Nasserini. So that's what we've seen thus far as Garrett O'Neill stays into punt now. Back deep to return. We have, I believe, Brendan Middleton of Lakeland and Hubble and Tristan Johnson. Ivor Stenberg and Brendan Middleton. As this one will roll back, Stenberg will back off of it, and it looks like it'll be down at the 32-yard line for Team Black. So not a lot of offensive explosion. The defenses have been the storylines, and on Team Black, your defensive coordinator is, I believe, Jeff Olson was working with the defense. I don't know if he was defense coordinator. I believe it was one of the St. Ignace coaches. And again, we're talking about a lot of great experience, and actually on both sides there's a lot of great experience. Marty Spencer coached his last season with St. Ignace. The man who's taking over from him is Ifra Marshall, who's got 26 years of experience as a coach, so that's going to play dividends for that St. Ignace group that's still fairly strong, as you can see 6 guys here today. Jay Spriggs under center again, handoff, no, double reverse, ball's on the ground, it's bouncing around, finally down by Team Black, and thus far, we've seen several times that the ball's been on the turf that time.
Yeah, we have another look here. I just don't think it was a clean exchange. You can see, yeah, well, he hit him right in the breadbasket, but just kind of bobbled a little bit. Fortunately for Team Black, able to fall back on it, but take a few-yard loss.
And for Team Black, that's Brendan Middleton of Lakeland and Hubble, and his coach, he has 2 coaches from his high school on Team Red. Most of Lakeland and Hubble is actually on Team Red. I think there's 4 Lakeland and Hubble players on Team Red, only 1 on Team Black. So Brendan Middleton trying to stick it to his former teammates here as Jay Spriggs has an I formation behind him, 2 receivers split. Pitch to Dan Nasserini, back to pass. He's got Ivor Stenberg, but guarded well by Team Red. And then a flag comes in as Stenberg turns to the official and says, hey, I was knocked down.
Yeah, here's another look. Nasserini back. He put a little too much arm on that one. He really wasn't even in the area. I think he just kind of fell down. I don't know if that was necessarily interference.
Well, I don't know if there was an actual catchable ball there, so we're going to see what happens as it's wait for the white hat to come in here and to confer with us if it was pass interference or not. They're going to, looks like they're marking it off.
Yeah, they're marching it forward. You bring up a great point, though. I don't think that was catchable.
Well, we have 2nd now. So we'll wait on that one. But Jay Spriggs back under center here. He's got 2 running backs behind him. And the handoff, Nasserini. The reverse goes to Brendan Middleton, spinning and juking, but only gets him about a yard there as Team Red is all over that one.
Yeah, Black team trying to do some trickery of their own. Not as successful as the Red team with their first play from scrimmage, but they did get some positive yards on it, did they?
I believe it was 1 yard that they got, so we're setting up 3rd and some distance here. About 3rd and 5. I think that one the call was that it was Thurston on the tackle, I believe. And then on the other side, I believe Lincoln Klein got a hit on his former teammate there. So now Steve Ceccia back in the game. 2 receivers split here. Ivor Stenberg, A.J. Weisnick. Back, short route. Stenberg has to get to the sticks, but a great open field tackle there. I believe that's Chris Lemire of Escanaba, and he's going to make sure this is 4th and about 2.
Yeah, they always say low man wins the battle. He wrapped him up, kept him from getting that first.
And that was a little quick hitch route to try and get maybe to the sticks. Stenberg was a little short of it. Good open field tackle by Chris Lemire. That could have gone one of two ways. Either Stenberg's in the house now, or a great wrap up to keep your guy up and get your teammates there, and Lemire able to bring him down.
That was the first real throw to either sideline, really. Most passes so far have been across the middle.
Well, Team Red trying to get a player off here quickly. They do. Corey Cody now checking in at linebacker on 4th down. You have two big guys in the game, Dan Nasserini, Isaac Olson, and Dan Nasserini is short. That was a great blitz. Ball's on the ground. It's a turnover regardless. I don't know who led the tackle there. It looked like it was Corey Cody. So future teammates getting a chance to hit each other. There looked like they gave the call to Chuck Golschel of Pickford, who makes the stop for Team Red. And now it looks like, are they going to measure here? Officials' time here. They're having both teams come off, and we're going to see a measurement. So with 5:59 remaining here in the first, well, it's scoreless.
Yeah, Nasserini made a good effort to get that ball out. I don't know if it was quite enough. We're going to find out here in just a moment.
And it looks like he's short. You can kind of see that from up here that he was short. So a great stop on defense, and you can't see him right now, but Coach Klein of Lakeland and Hubble, you'll see him in a second out here to greet his players. And he is a defensive-minded guy. He's up there in Lakeland and Hubble with Coach Andy Crouch. And Lakeland and Hubble for the past 2 seasons, 18-0 during the regular season.
Yeah, Klein gave a great speech last night at the banquet, too. He's a very passionate guy, very, very fired up, and loves to support those kids.
So now 1st and 10 for Team Red from the 41-yard line of Team Black. Peramski back in the game at quarterback. He's got 2 backs behind him, a receiver flanked to his left, handoff on a quick give to his fullback, and that one is going to get a few yards, about a gain of 3 on the play. So that brings up 2nd down and 7.
Maybe that's the strategy here for Black. You just hand it off, keep running it, wear him down, wear him down, wear him down.
That'll make it 2nd and 6.
So that was Mac Hull of Kingsford on the carry. Getting some yardage here that Team Red needs. Similar set here. As Peramski quick to the line, handoff, goes to his running back this time, and he falls forward for a gain of 3, and Bryce Brodin of Norway getting his carry here. Now we have 3rd down and about a long 3 for Team Red, and Bryce Brodin, a great running back at Norway. He's also a great track star.
Yeah, and that Team Red, the O-line there, got a real good push on that last play. I mean, that's what it takes to make the ball go forward just a few yards at a time. Good push off the line.
Peramski back in the line, now back to pass. He's rushed here, going to run up the middle, and Peramski's one of those big guys that you have to try and bring down as best as you can, and it's going to set up about a 4th and maybe an inch here. Check it out again here on the replay.
Again, not a good push there. A couple of little lanes. I don't know if that was exactly the play that was designed, but regardless, 1st down.
1st down by John Peramski. So we see Dan Nasserini lower the boom here, and I mentioned John Peramski. Well, John Peramski is going to be roommates with Dan Nasserini at Michigan Tech. How this comes about? Well, John Peramski's dad, who's on the coaching staff for Team Red, is a Crystal Falls Forest Park big name. 1986 Crystal Falls Forest Park player who was the all-star linebacker there in the UP and in the state. And a handoff here goes from Peramski to his running back for Team Red. That's Bryce Brodin again. He gets about a gain of 1. So 2nd down and 9 now for Team Red.
Pushing forward, keeping the ball going, getting closer and closer into red zone territory. Still about, 9 yards left to go before they get there?
I would like to see, as someone who went to a lot of North Central games this year, I would like to see Bobby Kleiman in the backfield, and that I think I must have read Coach Kangas's mind.
Wow.
There's Bobby Kleiman now checking in at running back next to John Peramski. Handoff goes. No, a keeper by Peramski. He's going to get a few yards there, but I'll give you this much. You give that ball to Bobby Kleiman, he has about 30 yards to the end zone, and he's gone.
Yeah, that North Central, just a special area. I mean, such success in football and basketball. Great group of kids. You and I have gone down there a couple of times. Of course,
lost in a lot of basketball.
Yeah, yep. You foolishly challenged Jason Whitens. That didn't go well for you either time, but it was fun nonetheless, and we got to meet a great group of kids.
So 3rd down now and long for Team Red. Climbing back in the game here. Paramsky at quarterback. 2 receivers split to either side. Wyatt Goodman on the left here. Back to pass is Paramsky. He finds his receiver, but through the hands and incomplete. That's going to bring up 4th down now. Paramsky's also the kicker. We saw him trying to warm up, and from the right side, not so great.
You got another look at that. Do they still allow stickum? Can you do stickum on your gloves anymore?
I don't think that's legal.
I don't think so either. Would have helped him here, though. Went right through the hands there.
So now 4th down, and Jerry's mentality is to go for it.
That's in the mode. That's the mode I'm in right now. Again, you know, it's the last chance for a lot of these players to play, and I'm aggressive when it comes to 4th downs.
And Coach Kangas and company, they're listening to you, Jerry, because we have another chance here. 4th down and long. Paramsky at quarterback. Bobby Kleiman to his left. Back to pass. Who's he going to look for? Kleiman on the wheel route, but it's just short. And now we have a turnover on down, so Team Black will take over. 1st and 10.
That's a good chance. I think there's some miscommunication on the roll there.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here. We have a score of 0-0 from the UP All-Star Game. You're watching football here on Fox UP. Team Black will break the huddle here. 2:53 in a scoreless All-Star Game as Steve Ceccia checks back in at quarterback. 2 backs behind him. He's got a receiver flanked to his left here. Handoff goes Dan Nasserini, and Team Red's defensive line has been fighting all day to get back there, and Dan Nasserini, not an easy guy to take down, but when you have a guy like Jared Sawyers of Sault Ste. Marie, that's a big body coming at you, a big tackle there to bring down Nasserini.
Yeah, Red, great push. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere if the defense is getting that far into your backfield.
2nd and 14, ball on the 23.
Sawyers, check this out, a volunteer ref and flag football coach in the Sault Ste. Marie area. So 19 tackles on the season, probably from a nose guard position. 3 of those were solo. And he's got a big one here as we see 5 linemen up front for Team Red if you count the linebacker that's blitzing in here. Now, I formation, 2 receivers to the left, and handoff goes to Dan Nasserini. That's a hole that anyone could run through, and Dan Nasserini gets that one, and I think he's going to get some extras for a face mask here, and we might see a 1st down for Team Black.
Yeah, definitely a face mask. They're making the signal right there. Here's another look. You mentioned that hole. It was pretty wide, and that's more than enough for Dan Nasserini. Shoestring tackle here. I didn't see where the face mask came in, but the refs did, and that's what counts. That results, of course, in a 1st down. Team Black getting some offense here.
1st down now from the 40-yard line for Team Black. And they're pulling on that side. And here's the thing. They're going in between 79, Taylor Belangia of North Central, and one of the St. Ignace offensive linemen as well. And that's where they're running through on that side. And it's working. I believe that might be Drew Marshall on that side or Jared Helms, and that worked really well for him. As we see Jace Briggs back in the game. Pitch goes to Brendan Middleton. He's quick. But Team Red able there to get him. That brings up 2nd down and 9. So Brendan Middleton, Lakeland and Hubble, Russ Bajorn, Calumet. Now I'll tell you this much, Jerry. Russ Bajorn, he plays linebacker. He was the 1st pick for, or I believe he was the 2nd pick for Team Red. No, he was the 1st pick. Bobby Kleiman was the 2nd pick for Team Red. Russ Bajorn, could you imagine him on hockey skates coming at you?
A pretty imposing figure for sure. And it's so hard to play hockey and football, too. Tough contact sports.
Well, flags here. Imagine it's going to be against the offense. Yes, false start. Going to back him up 5, so we'll have 2nd down now and 14 for Team Black. And the flags have paid a little bit of a pain for both teams.
That's something that a lot of these players haven't played in so long. You know, however, they did have a full week of practice, but it wasn't their usual practice, you know, practicing with different teams, different coaches, maybe somebody they're not familiar with. So kind of an X factor here. We'll just have to kind of wait and see how big a role penalties play in this game. Still early, a lot of football left to go.
I believe it was an offsides on Taylor Belangia of North Central. He came out of the game there. So now with 1 minute and 1 second left in this one, in the 1st quarter at least, Jace Briggs back to pass. First time seeing him, he's rolling around. He's got a great pocket. He goes for his man, Ivor Stenberg, and Stenberg tries the one-handed grab. Would have made the highlight reel.
Absolutely. It would have been an Odell Beckham style grab, but just out of the reach.
Just couldn't bring that one down, and we're going to see it again here.
You mentioned that pocket. Plenty of time, plenty of space. No worries. Launch it up. Good spiral, good ball. Just a little too far.
If that one's right on the number there or right on the helmet, that's a first down, maybe a touchdown. We know it's a first down. Could have been a touchdown as well. We have 3rd down and 14 now. Jace Briggs still in this game. Great arm by Jace Briggs. He goes to Barker here, so on a bit of a smaller school you might not be used to seeing, and showing out pretty decently on with his arm here is Ivor Stenberg, set to his right again. A.J. Weisnick out to his left. And we'll see Briggs roll out. Flag on the play here. Briggs getting chased down, and he is going to be sacked for a loss by Team Red. Trevor Roberts of Kingsford making the sack there, but there is a flag down. We're going to see what that is. And Trevor Roberts, not only, you see that closing speed he has there, well, try and catch him in the 100-meter dash for Division I. You're not going to.
Yeah, he also led it in track and basketball, team captain, hometown Lumber Athlete of the Month, a pretty special kid. That was a nice sack.
Trevor Roberts will be heading to Northern Michigan University with Michael Pizziola of Nagani, and we're going to see actually a defensive infraction here, so we're going to have 3rd down now and 9. So even though there's a sack, it's going to still be positive yards, courtesy of the old Yellow Hanky.
Yeah, again, we were just talking about it. We don't know what kind of role those flags are going to play in this game. We'll have to wait and see.
So 49 seconds on the clock here. 3rd down and 9.
After the penalty, it'll make it 3rd and 9.
And which quarterback's going to be in here? Is it Jace Briggs, or I believe Jace Briggs just ran into the huddle there. So no Steve Cecilia yet, but he'll probably be in on the next drive. Imagine Garrett O'Neill will be in for Team Red when they're next up. But one receiver split to the left. 3rd down and 9. Jace Briggs calls it. Handoff, no. He's going to roll out of the pocket. Rolling to his left, he's going to have to try and find something, but no, he's going to be sacked for a loss there, and that's Lincoln Klein, and you know who greeted him there first? His father, Ken Klein. And Lincoln Klein, I'll tell you this much, he's going to go to Northern Michigan University, but check out this rivalry. His older brother, Lucas, playing for Michigan Tech right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's all mixed up here now. You've got teammate against teammate, you know. It's a weird mix. You just try to go out and do your best. Klein also lettered in basketball and track, so multi-sport athlete. A lot of these kids, multi-sport athletes.
Absolutely. 4th down now. Dan Nasserini back to punt. Wyatt Goodwin of Marquette and Bobby Kleiman of North Central back to return, and this one's going to be fieldable by Kleiman. One hop. Here comes Kleiman. He's got a man to beat. Shake and bake. Still going. Has another man to beat. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. Now he's going to get met and pushed out of bounds. And some pushing there towards the end by Team Black. That's Mitchell Peterson of St. Ignace. But Bobby Kleiman, always a good sport.
They got a lot of talent on this team, on this field. So,
well, we're at the end of the first quarter, and it's tied still 0-0. These are the best players in the UP for a reason. But we're going to take a break here, come back with more action from the UP High School Football All-Star Game on Fox UP. And we're back for quarter number 2. The teams have switched field here. And it's Garrett O'Neill at quarterback for Team Red. He's got a big man down on his right at tight end. He's got 2 backs behind him. Handoff. No, the keeper, not a good idea. Dalton Deneau of Escanaba sniffs it out, and he says, you're going nowhere.
Dalton Deneau, good read on that play. The Black team as a whole, they were all over that one. You can't fool them on that play.
So a loss of 2 there brings up 2nd down and 12. Well, actually, we're seeing 2nd down and 13, so a loss of 3 there by Garrett O'Neill. The handoff could be there. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times, a lot of these players, they come from schools where maybe they are kind of that star athlete, so they think, I can take this. Well, you have other stars around you that can do the same. So sometimes you have to trust, and you don't always get to build that in a week. So there it is, a handoff. We see it this time. I believe that's Bryce Brodeen of Norway. He'll get maybe a gain of 1 there, maybe a gain of 2. 3rd down and 11, so a gain of 2 there. And now this offense for Team Red, who had some explosive plays to start, well, they're stalling.
Brodeen, another one of those multi-sport athletes, basketball, track, and baseball. Track, he was the MVP. Football, he was the MVP, and he volunteers for Big Brothers, man. Such special kids we have out there. They're really making a name for themselves and making a difference. A lot of this whole week centered around giving back to the community as well.
We'll talk about that, of course, throughout the broadcast, everything that's gone on this week, what all these players have been able to do. So now 3rd down and 11. O'Neal will drop back to pass. He's going to look to his right. He throws it up. That's Wyatt Goodwin, and Marcus McKinney has amazing coverage there for Team Black. That's not going to happen. Marcus McKinney, you talk about a multi-sport athlete. This guy, he's a basketball player, I know, at Menominee as well. I believe he does track as well. Let's check out the replay, though, here as Garrett O'Neal is going to try and fire this up.
Launches it, a lot of air under the ball. We've seen a lot of balls thrown too far. I mean, that was a good, 5-6 yards out of reach.
And you can see a lot of fans here in the stands at this game, of course, cheering on their family, their friends, former teammates also in the stands watching as we get set for a punt here. And I believe that is Garrett O'Neal in to punt for Team Red. Of course, no rush on the punt. Makes it a little bit easier to get a punt off. And this one's going to bounce. And Team Black's going to fall on it there at the last second. I believe that's Ivor Stenberg who's going to fall on it there about the 37-yard line, and that's where Team Black's going to take over.
Garrett O'Neal with that punt. Again, multi-sport athlete, basketball, track. Some pretty good stuff in track as well. He does the 300-meter hurdles and the 400-meter relay as well.
So, of course, we mentioned about the charities, and the All-Star Game does donate to several charities, including the Beacon House, the UP Sports Hall of Fame, and Kearney Nadeau and Gwynn High School also chosen in a lottery this year, and they'll get a donation, and several schools will also get footballs and equipment from this game: St. Ignace, Kingsford, Calumet, and Pickford. Well, Dan Nasserini and Isaac Olson were in the backfield, and Nasserini takes the snap, and like I said, you have to have a group of players to bring him down, and that's what it is, but still a big gain. It looks like it's going to be 2nd down and 5 coming up for Team Black, but Dan Nasserini, big thing right here for Team Black is getting him the ball.
Yeah, for sure, but again, the way this thing was drafted out and the work ethic that the red team put in all week, I mean, things are pretty balanced. That's why we're not seeing big breakout plays necessarily. It's still kind of of course, 0-0 game. Everybody's just vying for field position so far.
Well, Nasserini's going to stay in at quarterback. Obviously, an 8-man football. You saw that a lot. And this looks like it's starting to be plays out of the old Jeff Olson playbook, but his son Isaac puts that one on the turf. And I was just mentioning how it looked like that Ishpeming offense, and then Isaac Olson's the one who drops the ball there. So Isaac getting a little bit of a fumble there, probably wasn't expecting the snap. That's a new center.
Yeah, snap was a little low. Could have been worse, I guess, for Team Black.
So a loss of 4 now brings up 3rd down and 9 from the 38-yard line.
I think with this, you got to put it in the air.
And that's why we're seeing Steve Ceccia back in the game. Now, Ceccia had some great numbers at St. Ignace High School, and don't forget, St. Ignace has been in the playoffs, I believe, almost every year since 2007. Marty Spencer has several playoff appearances, so he trusts his quarterback for a reason. As Ceccia drops back to pass, he's got receivers running. He's got a man over the middle. It is caught by Carter Tolaire of St. Ignace. So gold helmet to gold helmet. 1st down, Carter Tolaire, and a lot there on that pass.
Yeah, the St. Ignace connection. What a good pass. That was right in stride. Here's another look at it. Lots of time in the pocket. Just a bullet in there, right on the hands. The 84, that's exactly where it needed to be. Able to get a big chunk of yards. What a great pass.
So after that catch, it was about a gain, a pass there for about a little over 20 yards here. I believe it was about 24 yards as we have 1st down now and 10.
Ceccia, again, golf, track, National Honor Society, Straits Area Scholar, athlete, special kid.
Now, 1st and 10 from about the 36 here. Handoff's going to go to Dan Nasserini. He's met in the backfield, still on his feet. Met again in the backfield. That time he's brought down. So a great tackle there and a great read by Team Red to stop. And again, future teammates, Michigan Tech, Corey Cody bringing down Dan Nasserini.
Yeah, but with this game here, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you know. It's such a balanced mix of talent here.
So no gain, so 2nd and 10. We're at the 36 still here and still scoreless. 10:44 remaining here in the 2nd quarter as Steve Ceccia rolls out now to his right. He's got a man open. That's Ivor Stenberg, and Stenberg drops the pass I saw first Chris Lemire saying no, he didn't catch it of Escanaba there for Team Red, and then the side official comes in and says no, he actually dropped it. So a drop there by Stenberg. That was could have been a big pickup.
Yeah, here's probably a better look at it than what we saw. You can see him roll out. A decent pass. But yeah, it did definitely fall on the turf.
So that would have brought up a 3rd and short there, and now we're looking at 3rd down and 10 from the 36-yard line. And it's Jace Briggs in at quarterback, I formation behind him. Pitch goes, Dan Nasserini, back to pass. No, flags on the play, stops it early. Now looks like it's probably going to be against Team Black. It is. False start.
You know, again, like I said, 2 steps forward, or 3 steps back. I mean, it's tough to build momentum. You know, the flag's starting to come in more and more. We don't want to see that. You want to get momentum. Flags slow things down, and of course, penalize your team.
Well, it's an all-star game, so we probably have all-star officials as well. That's what we're seeing here. A lot of hankies being thrown here on the turf as we have 3rd down and 15 now. 10:30 remaining here in the first half. Jace Briggs in at quarterback, I believe. He's still in there. I see the yellow helmet rolling around there. They'll have 2 receivers split. Ivor Stenberg, AJ Weisnick actually running off the field. Nope, he's staying in. A little bit of confusion here for Team Black. So I formation. Let's see if they go back to the same play. It is a pitch. Dan Nasserini back to pass. Looking for Ivor Stenberg. He had his hand up, but Ivor Stenberg loses the ball. And here's the other thing. A lot of these players haven't had a chance to actually play in the dome as we see another flag come in.
Yeah, here come the flags, slowing things down. Again, another ball that was overthrown, though.
Yeah, that one, I do think a lot of times there's receivers, they do lose the ball in the light. Now, Forest Park and Bark River Harris have played. Flags called off there. Have played in this dome before. You know, a lot of these teams will get into the dome around playoff time, and if their fields are covered in snow, but they don't get a lot of chances. Now, Wyatt Goodwin of Marquette, he doesn't have a lot of complaints because they played most of their season in the dome this year, so he's been adjusted to lights, but it's a different feel.
Yeah, the lights is absolutely a factor. You and I both know this. We both shoot highlights, and it's easy to lose a ball, once it goes up against that backdrop of the bright lights.
So Dan Nasserini back to punt yet again. The ball goes through his hands. There is no rush, though, I believe, even with the botch there, but they do rush on it. But a good punt still, and this one's going to roll. Oh, Bobby Kleiman picks it up after his teammate tells him to lay it off, and here's Bobby Kleiman going to work. Kleiman still gets a few yards. He's out to about the 13-yard line. I think that's where they're going to mark it, so Team Red. Only about a gain of a return of about 5 yards there, but Bobby Kleiman, he's going to go play baseball. He's going to go play baseball at Kalamazoo Community College, so he doesn't have too much to worry about. He just wants to kind of make a statement here in his last time in a Jets uniform.
Sure, some players maybe would have let that roll its way into the end zone, but if you got some faith in your ability to take it out, give it a shot, I guess.
One of the guys that also returned punts for North Central, their quarterback, Jason Whitens, who's our dream team quarterback this year. And we talked a lot about 8-man football, and we've seen a lot of 8-man stars. 20 players were drafted from 8-man football teams, including Bobby Kleiman, who's playing here. 4 of his teammates that are playing on Team Black are out there as well from North Central. But you'll see a lot of 8-man connection here as Paramsky back in the game. Handoff, no. Yes, it's given to Bobby Kleiman. He's out to the outside, cuts back up, and he's going to get about a gain of 4. So 2nd down and 6 coming up for Team Red.
Well, if you get the quickness around the corners, that may be the way to go with these sweeps right and left because the interior linemen not giving a whole lot on both sides.
So Paramsky in shotgun. He's going to keep it this time. Good read right up the middle. Defense coming up there and making a big stop. I believe that's another Lakeland and Hubble. No, it's Zeke Oswald actually for Team Black making the stop. Zeke Oswald, the other Bark River Harris representative. So sometimes the yellow helmets, they'll get you. That's a yellow helmet of Bark River instead of a yellow helmet of Lakeland and Hubble.
Oswald, another multi-sport athlete, wrestling and golf. He participates in the Quiz Bowl and a National Honor Society student.
So here's Paramsky again, now 3rd down, fakes the handoff to Kleiman, rolls around, he's got a man open across the middle, and that is a catch, and he's draped, and I think they're going to call a flag for pass interference, even though the catch was made, and of course, we'll see the coaches for Team Red
Here's a look
decline
at that.
it.
Nice little pitch and catch. despite the rush, he got it off. Good ball. Right into the hands where it needed to be. It did look like the Team Black player was draped on him a little bit.
Pass interference on the defense. It's declined. A first down. How about Jalen Skinner in the Gwynn Model Towners? 4 representatives from Gwynn. And how about this? This was the first time this century that Gwynn made the playoffs.
Good for them. That's a nice group of kids up there, and that's what you want to see, some success.
So Coach Dion Brown being represented well here at the All-Star game. And Pramsky now on the keeper, fakes the handoff to Kleiman. He's going to gain about 2 there. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 8. We'll go a long 8 on that one.
Yeah. Once again, the interior linemen really showing that they're not giving it an inch.
Pramsky quick up, handoff, no, fakes it. He's going to roll out. He's got a man open, and that's another catch. Good catch there. I believe it's Jalen Skinner of Gwynn yet again making the catch. So Jalen Skinner, back-to-back catches here.
Here's another look. This is how you build momentum. You keep it going.
3rd and 2.
Yeah, able to break across midfield. So they want to just build on this and keep on going.
So 3rd and 2 now from the 49-yard line across the 50 here. We'll see what happens as Pramsky's still in at quarterback. He has Austin Wickland in the backfield. Pramsky on the keeper. He's going to run a few players over, and that's a first down for Team Red.
That was a tough run right through the middle. You saw that big pop.
Well, the reason why it's a big run is you see the number 50 because he's also a Dream Team linebacker. So you have the Dream Team linebacker as your quarterback. He also, of course, played quarterback at Newberry. Newberry has been in the playoffs several years now, Fred Bryant's group. And, of course, his dad, Pete Pramsky, is also coaching on Team Red.
And that good hard run, that good hard-nosed run, good for enough for a first down. Some momentum, looking like it's going towards Red's way.
Newberry has 3 players represented here. As Pramsky's back to pass, he's looking for the man across the middle. He's got a wide open man. Oh, Bryce Brodeen through the hands. That was a touchdown if Bryce Brodeen catches it.
Absolutely. Again, another throw across the middle, man. If he had that, though, he would have been long gone.
I'm looking down at Coach Bob Madigan of Norway. I see him right in front of me. He's turning around looking at everybody. Check out the replay here.
Nice pocket. No real pressure. Good ball right where it needs to be. Just right through the hands. Again, if only they could have Stickum.
If only they could have Stickum. That's going to be the phrase of the day here. And if only the refs could have Stickum to keep those flags on their hands. As we see Coach Bob Madigan, I mentioned he was down there, and he was excited sitting with a bunch of Norway people who travel with Norway up here, and he saw that and a little bit of excitement, and then he realized what happened is John Pramsky on 2nd down is going to get a gain of about 2. It's going to bring up 3rd down now and about 8. Ball on the 40. They're marking it at the 45-yard line. So now 3rd down and 8.
Passing situation for sure. I'd like to see more of these passes to the outside. I don't like to throw across the middle necessarily.
That's that run by Pramsky.
Well, again, the interior linemen for Team Black not giving a lot, man. They're very stout. They'll give you a yard or 2, but no more.
So 6:50 remaining here in the first half, and it's been a defensive battle as we see a timeout called on the field. Hey, it's 0-0. Come back. We're going to still have some great action here on Fox UP. So 3rd down and 8 for Team Red as John Pramsky comes back in the game at quarterback. Passing situation, as Jerry mentioned, before we head to half here. And this is the 10th annual Uper Bowl, if you will, as Pramsky gets rushed, tries to find somebody over the middle, and it's an incomplete pass now, brings up 4th down and 8.
Yeah, that line for Team Black just really doing it, man. I mean, they're getting good penetration. They're not being pushed around at all. They're staying their ground and even getting into the backfield.
I don't know if that was a design screen. It looked like the offensive line had ran away to try and protect upfield, and the defensive line and linebackers just read it well. So now 4th down and a punting situation for Garrett O'Neill from North Dickinson. 2 back to return. Brendan Middleton is one of those. As the punt goes up, and it's going to be fielded well here inside the 10. Great return, out past the 15, down at about the 17. And that's where Team Black's going to take over. A return there by Ivor Stenberg of Bark River Harris.
You got to wonder how well everybody slept during the banquet last night. Many players mentioned that their roommates snored.
That was the big common theme, is that everybody here snores. That's what we got from the banquet last night, is that offensive linemen were the most guilty party, but it was pretty much everybody.
I, of course, was a lineman, and I do, in fact, snore.
I was not a lineman, and I don't snore. Unless, I don't know. You ask my wife, she might tell you I snore. I don't know. But Jace Briggs is up now at quarterback for Team Black. Handoff goes to Isaac Olson, trying to get some power there. Isaac gets about maybe a gain of an inch. They moved it just a little, so we might see second down on a long 9 here.
And if you're Team Red, you really want to make a stop here, because then you get closer. You kind of start to win that battle for the field position, and you can maybe take a stab, and at the end zone before the half.
As Jerry mentioned, we're actually nearing half. We're about 6 minutes from halftime here, and we're in a scoreless contest. So either you're a fan of defense and you're loving this, or you're a bit bored because both offenses have stalled. Either way, you get the best players in the UP, so you should just be happy about it. As we see Jace Briggs now a pitch. That's Brendan Middleton around the outside. He's quick, he's fast, he can make moves, and he's going to be down near the first down marker. I think he's going to be out 2 yards short. So 3rd down and 2 coming up for Team Black.
And that's what I think you have to do. I think you have to, if you're going to run, you do these sweeps to the outside just like this. You got another look at it. Just a simple pitch off to the left. He's able to get that corner, get a few yards. Good tackle there, or it could have been even more.
So Brendan Middleton making things happen. I mentioned Brendan Middleton. If you want to look at a guy's stats, Brendan Middleton's a guy that's going to be looked at. He's got some great numbers.
Oh, yeah, rushing 2,343 yards, 33 touchdowns.
That was just this season, I believe. So good numbers for Brendan Middleton. As we see now, a handoff to Dan Nasserini. He's around the outside, and Nasserini a first down. So Dan Nasserini filling in here with Brendan Middleton. And what's happening? Jerry just mentioned it. You go outside of the offensive tackle, and you're getting yards.
Yeah, that's just what you're seeing. Both teams, the defensive line is just too stout. So with that, you got to bounce it out like this, whether it's a pitch or just a handoff to the outside. You got to get good blocks, and Nasserini able to bounce it out. And of course, that block coming from Isaac Olson, doing it on both sides of the ball. Ishmael, they're no stranger to that.
Isaac Olson, some great blocking. He had some great years blocking when on the state championship team, blocking for a guy like Ozzie Corp. And then, of course, in this game, getting a chance to block for a guy like Dan Nasserini. 2 dream teamers, if you will. Isaac Olson on the pitch now. There's a flag on the play, but Isaac Olson cuts it up. That's one of the good things about Isaac Olson. He's not afraid to run between the tackles, and you see that. It was a play designed to the outside. He follows Dan Nasserini's block, and he almost has a first down, but I think we're going to get a holding call.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You're going to bounce it out again, like I've been saying. You're not going to get much up the middle, but you do see the hold there. Yeah, it's pretty clear. That's the risk you run.
So now backed up 10 here, so first down in the old country mile, as we call it back home.
Definitely, lots of yards to gain here. Luckily, it's first down for them. They can take some shots on either side. Maybe, run a sweep to the right side this time.
Yeah, they have ran at Marcus McKinney a lot from Menominee, and Marcus McKinney and the Menominee Maroons. We talk about them because they were a representative at a state championship this year, but did fall in the final. As we see Sasia back now, over to Stenberg. First catch for Stenberg. Open field tackle, and Team Red. The open field tackle is made. That's by Trevor Brawley of Engadine. I'll tell you this much. If you want to know about offensive stats, Trevor Brawley is the guy to talk about from Engadine. But defensively, making the big tackle here. Check it out.
Well, I talked about going to the right side of the field. Here we do it, but just able to smell that one out and bring him down.
And it looked like A.J. Weisnick was actually sent to go get Brock Aho, the safety there, instead of guarding and trying to cover up on Trevor Brawley. And Trevor Brawley, just a great read. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times in 8-man football, when you see things like that, Trevor Brawley, he's used to seeing those little screen routes and things like that, so he probably was used to a play that was similar to that. As Steve Sasia back in the game, 2 running backs behind him, Nasserini and Middleton. Handoff goes to Middleton. He's got some big men up front blocking for him. He's back across the middle. Here he is. He's across near midfield. He's still on his feet. Across midfield, brought down about the 24-yard line and a huge first down for Brennan Middleton and Team Black.
Here we go. Right side. He was able to cut it up in the middle. Got some good blocks. Just a lot of open room for him to run around. It's 17 there. He was able to bring him down. But it started as a sweep to the left.
Adam Hildebrandt of Newberry bringing him down, one of the two red players from Newberry. And we actually learned last night, Adam Hildebrandt and I have a little bit in common from the Volunteer State.
That's right. You
so
are from
both
Tennessee.
of us, that was a pretty cool story, and that he started his life in Tennessee, and of course that's where I came up from, so it was really cool to get to hear that from one of the players. Jace Briggs, I formation behind him. I believe it's Olson and Nasserini. It is. Pitch goes to Olson. Olson battling around. He should have gone, I think, to the outside of his blocker there. I believe that is Drew Marshall from St. Ignace. He should have gone on the outside of Marshall.
Well, this is where you adapt as well. You know, you keep bouncing that sweep out to the left, and the Team Red's going to catch on. So you got to mix it up a little bit. Maybe throw maybe a pass on first down every now and then.
I said Drew Marshall. I believe that was actually Carter Tolaire, the tight end on that side. So it was Tolaire that actually had the block. Olson could have bounced to the outside and probably got to the outside. But I'll tell you this much, probably what he hears in his head is his dad telling him to just try and run the ball the way you know how. So Olson likes to cut back into the middle and make some havoc happen there as there's a loss of one. Second down now and 11 as Jace Briggs, a straight drop here. It's a screen. Everybody's guarding it now, but Dan Nasserini, a great move there. Great improvisation there by Jace Briggs, A, to keep the ball and not throw a pick, and then B, for Dan Nasserini to realize he needed to step out.
Yeah, that was like you said, some good improvising there. The screens take so long to develop. I mean,
they give him about 5 yards on that one to make third down and 5. I'd say a long 4. It's pretty close there. So third down, and we'll give it 5 as Jace Briggs will have two backs behind him, Middleton and Dan Nasserini, a receiver split to his right here. Handoff goes to Middleton. He bounces to the outside, trying to make something happen. This time it's read well by Team Red, and a stop is made there by number 17, Adam Hildebrandt of Newberry. That's going to bring up fourth down now, so fourth down and 5 still for Team Black. You're across midfield. You haven't seen a score. We have 2 minutes almost here in the game, in the first half at least.
I mentioned it. You keep bouncing it out to the left. Team Red's gonna sniff that out. I mean, we're dealing with some expert coaches who have a lot of experience on both sides.
So now we're under 2 minutes here remaining in the first half. Two receivers split here for Team Black. Jace Briggs drops back. No, will roll to his right. He looks for a man. He's got something has to happen here as he's going to get sacked, and he's brought down to the turf. They call him down. He's sacked by number 24 of Team Red, Trevor Roberts of Kingsford. Defensive stats for Trevor Roberts. He led his team, I believe, in sacks. Check it out here just one more time.
See, rolling out, at this point, he would have to make a pass across his body. That's pretty difficult for anybody to achieve, and it just collapses on him. Now, was he down? They did rule him down, yes?
Yeah, they're going to rule him down. I think in a game like this, you're not really going to, when a quarterback gets tossed like that, you probably aren't going to call it as a fumble there. Trevor Roberts of Kingsford, look at those defensive stats.
Yeah, 50 tackles, 28 for solo, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery that was for a touchdown.
Yes, it was. So now Team Red with Garrett O'Neill in shotgun formation and Austin Wickland to his right will roll out. He's going to go back to Austin Wickland, wide open. He's got blocking in front of him. Wickland still on his feet, past the 20. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Team Red, but we have a flag that's thrown back at the 19-yard line. I think we're going to see maybe a block to the back there or a clipping call on Team Red that's going to back this up.
We got another look at that here coming up. Good developing play right there. Able to grab it, got a lot of room to run. Where did that block in the back come? Right there? There. Yeah, there it was.
So they called holding.
Or holding, I'm sorry.
They called holding, so it's replay of first down here. check it out. We're going to get to see the up-close version of this. So not there. It's up here on the receiver.
27.
And that's why his hands are on the backside and outside for Team Red. That's Jordan Bellick of Kearney Nato, who played quarterback most of the time for Team Red. His dad, one of the coaches here. Kearney Nato, their first football season in 30 years this past year in 8-man football. So Jordan Bellick of Kearney Nato, he did play a little receiver, but he's more of a quarterback and runner, as we see Garrett O'Neill now taking this one, and Team Black just sniffs it out. I think that's a host of Calumet players getting back there for the tackle.
Yeah, you mentioned that laundry earlier. Those flags, just momentum killers.
Absolutely. We have a timeout called here on the field by Team Red, trying to make something happen here. Again, it's 0-0 in this game. 1:08 remaining in the first half. We're going to take a break. We're seeing the best action from high school football in the UP on Fox UP. And we're back to the Superior Dome for the 10th annual UP High School Football All-Star Game. And if you're expecting a score, well, we still are expecting a score as well, Jerry.
Yeah, we almost had one there, but of course the penalty brought that back.
A lot of penalties going on here. I think we're in the double digits of how many flags we've seen thus far. As Garrett O'Neill drops back to pass, looks to his right, had a man. That's Wyatt Goodwin. I believe that could have actually been Bobby Kleiman, and Kleiman unable to bring it in. That is Bobby Kleiman. So an incomplete pass there on second down now brings up third down and 11.
Game of inches, just ball slightly overthrown. He ran a great route. It was a good pass, just a little past him.
So clock stop, 1:03 here remaining in the second quarter. Third down and 11. Garrett O'Neill still in the game at quarterback. Bobby Kleiman, that's one of those catches that Bobby Kleiman maybe not have to make much during the regular season. I don't know, Kevin Belfie might get mad at me for saying that. Another receiver that we expected to see at the All-Star game from North Central, Marcus Krasinski. That's normally a catch he would make from a Jason Whitens, but we'll see what happens here now as it's third down. Ball on the turf. O'Neill springs on it. He's got black jerseys to beat, and he's not. Oh, he's still on his feet. Check this out. Some great moves by O'Neill. Fakes a man out. He's still on his feet. He's going to run it this time. He's got blocking in front of him, but there's a flag because that's a block in the back, and a first down is going to come back.
Wow, way to make something of a broken play, but again, the flag.
Well, one of my favorite quarterbacks that ran like this, you got to go with a guy like Doug Flutie. That's what that's looking like right now.
Yeah.
It's just a great improv and just running around, but you're going to see that was where the flag actually came in. It was a block to the back there.
Yeah, very clear. Referees caught that one. It was right in front of the refs.
And so a block to the back will back it up. Still third down and forever here for Team Red as we see 48 ticks remaining on the clock here in the first half. So Garrett O'Neill, and here's the thing about Garrett O'Neill, he's not coming out of the game. That's a play where you probably need a breather, and he's going to stay in this one because he made a great play happen. So 3rd and 20 with the ball placed at the 37-yard line, and Team Red just trying to be the first team to get on the scoreboard here.
What a mad scramble that was.
A lot of props have to be given there to Garrett O'Neill, improving on that one. So two receivers to his left, tight end to his right. He's back to pass now. He's got Kleiman, he's got Goodwin. Goodwin on the wheel, Marcus McKinney, great cover. And the coaches are looking for pass interference, but that's just great coverage down the field by Marcus McKinney.
Yeah, maybe the ball a little underthrown. We got another look here too. Rolling out, throwing a deep one. Got a lot of air under it. Yeah, just coming up short there.
If anything, that's offensive contact there, so Wyatt Goodwin has to be very careful with that as well, just trying to jock for position there with Marcus McKinney. But again, 4th down and 20 now. What a great shot there. Got to give props up here to Sabrina running the camera. She had a great cover on that one.
We got a great staff here.
We do. We got a great crew with us. They give us the best for the All-Star game. We get our All-Star crew here too.
We got a timeout here.
Another timeout called here. I believe it's called by Team Red. So, of course, with that, we're still scoreless. 42 seconds remaining here in the first half, and we're going to send it to break here. We'll have more action here from the High School Football All-Star Game on Fox UP. Welcome back to the Superior Dome here for the 10th annual commonly known Uper Bowl. It's the UP High School Football All-Star Game. Scoreless with 42 seconds remaining here, as Garrett O'Neill still in the game, and I think we're going to see an offsides or defensive encroachment there. Defense was in the neutral zone, unable to get back, and pushed a lineman, so that's what it is. Calling offsides on the defense here, so 5 yards. Well, it's not a first down, but it's now not as fourth and forever as it was. Fourth and 13 now, as the offense is going to huddle back up.
Yeah, if you're going to, that 5 yards helps. That's 5 less yards you have to throw towards the end zone if you're going to take a shot at it with 42 seconds left.
So Garrett O'Neill in shotgun. He's got Austin Wicklund to his right, along with Bobby Kleiman, who's out at receiver. Wyatt Goodwin to his left. O'Neill going up, Bobby Kleiman, but he throws an interception instead. The corner has a good return on it now, and that's going to be up for Team Black. So Team Black making some miracles happen. The interception for Team Black by Mitchell Peterson of St. Ignace, one of Marty Spencer's own, getting his offense back into this one.
Here's another look at that. Just launched it up there. He had a guy there. Just that ball went into the other arms. Receiver kind of overran that a little bit.
Well, it looked like Bobby Kleiman was stepping in for more of a post route, and the throw was thrown to the outside. I think Bobby Kleiman was trying to adjust. Now, don't forget, Bobby Kleiman's used to a guy by the name of Jason Whitens throwing him a football. And Jason Whitens is about 6'5". He's going to go play basketball at Western Michigan. So he's got some hops and he's got some height. So he could have seen Bobby probably a little bit better than Garrett O'Neill could, but O'Neill's still a good read. I feel like that was the best option for him.
Yeah.
So with 31 seconds remaining here in the first half, Sasia in the game. He finds a man across the middle. That's Brendan Middleton. Middleton wrapped up, couldn't get out of bounds. So we have a first down. Clock will stop for the first down. Actually, I think we're going to get a timeout called here by Team Black. Yes. Check out the replay, though.
Yeah, good wrap up there. He could have broke that loose for quite an even bigger gain.
So with 23 seconds remaining here in the first half, we're going to keep the action here. We have a drive coming up for Team Black that has started off well. Everybody kind of flanked with Sasia. He had a man cross back out, which is Brendan Middleton. Middleton makes the catch on in the wide open space.
Only 1 week to practice on this stuff. You got to wonder how much time they dedicated to something like a 2-minute drill or trying to get the ball in deep quick.
Probably not a lot of time.
Yeah.
2-minute drill is one of those things where you kind of just have to go on the fly.
Yeah.
As we see the fans in the stands here, they made their trips from all over the UP. This is obviously not just based in one area. Of course, not north versus south or east versus west like we've been commonly used to in all the All-Star games. The draft took place earlier this year, and we mentioned kind of how that went down.
Man, I think what you see here with the scoreless game is how even it's been. You know, I think the draft actually works very well if you want an even distribution of the talent to both teams.
So 1st and 10, ball from Black 49 here. Handoff goes to Isaac Olson. Don't know why you're running it with seconds remaining on the clock, but we have 2nd down and 10 as the clock is stopped at 18. Looks like it's another timeout by Team Black. We're still keeping it here. We're getting close here, so I don't know why there was a run. I don't know if they were just trying to hope to break something open there.
Yeah, with so little time and being near midfield, go for a pass along either sideline, try to get the ball and get out of bounds real quick.
That's an idea that I would go with, try and get some sort of out route.
I mean, we haven't seen a lot of success up the middle with either team. You know, both defenses, again, the interior linemen just being very stout, not giving very much.
Well, in a game like this, we've seen a lot of passes go to, and this is what this game's all about right here, is that trophy right there, is winning that, getting your name put on there. Obviously, we mentioned no north versus south, so you'll either have Team Black or Team Red listed on there. And a cool storyline, you think about some of these teams, a team like North Central, some of these players are going to lose their first high school football game. Whether it's Bobby Kleiman on Team Red or his 4 teammates on Team Black, they have not lost an 8-man football game in 2 years now. So that's a lot of these guys that have never felt that since they've been 8-man football players. So that's a crazy thought as well. So Sasia back to pass here. Time rolling down. He's got a lot of rush on him, and he's down on the ground. Trevor Roberts of Kingsford is brought down. Team Red trying to get on the ball. Team Black trying to get on the ball, but the ref says it's down. They're telling him to wind the clock. So now we have 10 seconds remaining as we see this last time here.
Just good pressure. Outran him. Ran him down. And was he? Well, there's only 2 seconds left. One, and that's
so we head to halftime in a scoreless game. Red 0, Black 0. But before we head to the break, I would like to send a special message to the Norway area and all of you who are dealing with the tragic loss of Brian Stankina. For those of you who may not have heard, Brian heroically jumped into the Menominee River on June 13th to rescue a distressed swimmer, but was swept away by a strong current during the rescue attempt. It's in this time of great heartache that I and Jerry, and on behalf of the TV6 and Fox UP family, we would like to extend our thoughts and prayers to the family, friends, teammates, and community that Brian loves so much. Well, we're back at the Superior Dome, and it's halftime, and as you can see, there's several goose eggs on the old scoreboard here. No scoring in our 10th annual UP High School Football All-Star Game. Several chances, a lot of flags stalling things. We'll be back with highlights coming up here in your halftime show from the UP High School All-Star Football Game on Fox UP. Well, welcome back to the Superior Dome. We're still in halftime here. We're about 11 minutes from the start of the second half. And, Jerry, it's scoreless.
Yeah, not exactly what you'd expect from an all-star game, but as I mentioned during the commentary, when you have a draft like that, it's going to spread the talent out. Of course, again, we've got the best talent from across the UP, balanced on both sides. There's been some chances, and there's been a lot of flags, I think, which is kind of stifling the momentum for both teams.
Yeah, and that's been the big thing because we haven't seen any scoring. We had one chance at scoring, and it actually got brought back by a holding. And let's take a look at the highlights here.
Start off with this trick play here for Team Red, going deep. This was a bit of success they had early on. He's able to bring that catch down. That's good stuff. Yeah, there's another look at that same grab. He brought it down nice and clean, despite the coverage. As the D being stout, again, the interior lineman able to force that fumble. Team Black rolling out, going deep. Yeah, we saw a lot of balls that were overthrown, a couple that went through the hands. But good pressure from both defenses.
And more fumbling. A lot of fumbling was going on. You see Brendan Middleton covering up that one there. And how about this, though? A pitch out to Dan Nasserini of Forest Park. He tries to heave it deep. Coverage all around there, and that was when the flag got thrown in.
Yeah, they gave pass interference on that one, even though that might not have been a catchable ball.
And again, Cecilia, he actually finds his man there. This time, Ivor Stenberg, but a great tackle by Chris Lemire of Escanaba.
Yep, more good pressure again from the line. Able to make something out of nothing there, really, though.
And again, Pramsky would drop back. He was trying to find several receivers in this one, and that one just through the hands, couldn't be brought down. Back on the other side, that was a handoff that was given to Dan Nasserini. A lot of great runs by Nasserini.
Yeah, Nasserini's doing pretty good in this game so far, racking up some yards, but a lot of stuff going to the outside. Deep ball overthrown again. See that quite a few times here, both sides.
And then there's Garrett O'Neill on Team Red. He's going to try and drop back, do some damage here through the air as well. However, great coverage, but there was a flag thrown on that one.
Yep.
Back on Team Black, it's Steve Cecilia across the middle. He finds his man Carter Tillera. That was one of the best passes and catches that we've seen in the game.
Definitely, that was right where it needed to be. Good gain for Team Black.
And then Cecilia going back to work. Ivor Stenberg, though, incomplete.
Yeah, that one hit the turf, no good. See, tough to building momentum, so back and forth, and so many flags and overthrown balls.
And John Pramsky throws one up the middle. He gets a catch there. That's Jalen Skinner. And on this drive, I believe Skinner had two of the best catches on that drive. There's Skinner again from that tight end position, getting another big gain.
Mixing it up, going across the middle and off to the sidelines.
Pramsky back again. He goes across the middle. He had Bryce Brodeen, but through the hands.
Yeah, it's another drop ball. If he'd have caught that, that would have certainly been a score for Team Red.
And then again, Pramsky still in at quarterback. He tries to keep one, and again, a big guy you have to try and bring down, and it's happened well this time. They have a lot of guys going for the feet.
This is when Team Black started to pitch it out to the right, and I felt like they had some success with this. They kept going to the right. They kept going for these sweeps. See another one. But it wasn't too long, though, before we started to see some flags, and then Team Red was able to kind of catch up with them and feel that out. See, again, we go to the right with the sweep, try to bounce it out, flag, that's a holding. And then, by this time, Team Red, they really started to kind of suss out. So they try to mix it up and go to the left. Does Team Black, and Team Red is right there. So good D. You get a little bit of success, though, by going to the right, go to the left. It's all about mixing up the plays, switching sides of the field, and there, Team Black able to break off a big run. Started as a sweep, brought it back into the middle to gain even more yards.
And that was Brendan Middleton of Lakeland and Hubble that had that big run there. And then turns over here. This is Jace Briggs trying to find something here, and this is where the defense just starts sniffing people out. This is twice in this game that Trevor Roberts has forced a fumble. It did not count as a fumble, though, and Team Red turns around. This is the play that was a touchdown but called back because of that hold right there as Austin Wickland found his way into the end zone.
Yeah, everybody was really excited for this. It seemed like we got our first score, but that hold right there, that's enough to bring it back and kind of cancel out the excitement for Team Red.
And then Garrett O'Neill, he had a play where it looked like he was channeling his inner Doug Flutie as he ran around. He got some great blocks, but there was a block that brought it all back.
That's
so again,
right.
Team Red stalled by another flag. This time Garrett O'Neill, he went, tried to throw a jump ball up. Wyatt Goodwin hoping for a flag, but great coverage by Marcus McKinney, and then this was the interception before the half.
Yeah, and this was a big momentum swing, but after that, it stalled. We kind of ran out of time.
Yeah, and that was where Team Black would then take over, and when they took over, nothing was able to happen the last few plays, as you're going to see Sacia trying to make something happen. There is a catch there by Brendan Middleton, but that was the best as that drive went. More flags on the play, and then, of course, Trevor Roberts, the big sack there to head us into halftime, and that's how we got to a scoreless game. So not much other than some great defensive plays, but of course, we're going to have more from this game and hopefully some scoring coming up in the second half. Stay tuned for the second half kickoff right here on Fox UP. Well, welcome back to the Superior Dome as we get set for this second half. We like to remind everyone, of course, that there are two players that are not here that would have been here. Sam Larson of Menominee joining the U.S. Army, and also Jeremy Johnson of Forest Park, who is also not here because he's actually at boot camp this week.
Yeah, during the banquet last night, they mentioned Jeremy Johnson, who's going on to specialize in aviation operations specialist with the U.S. Army. He was able to raise more than $2,000, even knowing that he wouldn't be able to be here for this game. Now that $2,000, more than any other player is able to raise in the 10 years of UP All-Star football.
So a huge shout out to Jeremy Johnson going to defend our freedom, and he's at boot camp like I mentioned. I don't know if he's at Fort Jackson or not. I got a chance to go there, so a shout out there. But Dan Nasserini is going to get things underway. A kick that's going to roll and a catch by Bryce Brodeen about the 20. Here's Brodeen on the return. He's got a hole up the middle. He's going to keep going. And Brodeen is met by a host of black jerseys there, brought down at the 35-yard line. So about a return of 15 yards, and that's where Team Red will set up.
I know there's something special about this week. All the players got a chance to visit Bay Cliff Health Camp this week and hang out with some of the kids that are spending the summer out there. Last night, again, during the banquet, a few teary-eyed folks talked about what a special experience it was for both the kids at Bay Cliff and the athletes.
And, of course, we had an amazing speech by Steve Mariucci from Iron Mountain, the NMU grad. And really
stirred me up. After that speech, I was ready to huddle up and go play some football myself.
I felt the same way. And so we start here with Pramsky in at quarterback. A handoff, I believe it's handoff to number 21, Mac Hull of Kingsford. The fullback, he's going to get about a gain of 2, so 2nd down and 8 coming up for Team Red. The middle hasn't worked well for most of these teams.
Yeah, I've been saying it. The interior linemen, both Team Red and Team Black, proving to be very tough. You got to wonder what each coach said during halftime. How do we break this stalemate? How do we break one off and get somebody into the end zone?
So now 2nd down and 8, I formation behind John Pramsky. 2 receivers to his left. Pramsky back to pass. Oh, he's getting rushed here. Pramsky's going to go down in a heap there. 2 big linemen in there on the sack, and I think we had our sole representative of Engadine in there on the sack. A big sack there, led, I believe, by maybe Chandler Brown on Team Black there. 72, actually that's Ryan, well, 72 for Team Black. Looked like he got it. The jerseys aren't always that great from up here in this distance, so.
Well, once again, though, we mentioned the defensive line breaking through. You know, good pressure.
So another sack there.
I mean, you might think an all-star game you see a ton of touchdowns, lots of scoring, lots of action. There's been action, just more of the defensive variety. So if you're a fan of good defense, this game has been right up your alley.
So third down now as John Pramsky drops back under pressure again. Pramsky this time able to avoid, throws across the middle, and it's incomplete, almost intercepted there by Team Black, and that's going to set up 4th down and 15 in a punting situation.
That's a tough ask, you know, to be under pressure like that and have to throw across your body, across the field. That's tough for anybody to pull off. I mean, you can see the pros do it sometimes, but, you know, that's something they practice and practice and practice.
And I was saying it was Chandler Brown that had led the sack for Team Black on that one. He had pressure there as well, along with Derek Berger of Cedarville, the sole Cedarville representative, not Engadine.
Yeah, Chandler Brown, a big orchestra guy. He got 3 years in the UP Youth Orchestra, 4 years in the West End Community Orchestra. He's really into that.
So a punt there, fielded by Ivor Stenberg, fakes the reverse. Now he's got some room in front of him. He's got some blocking. He's going to get near the outside, and he is absolutely smacked on the outside by Trevor Roberts of Kingsford. Stenberg, you get that license plate number, it's 24.
Yeah, that was a big hit to end that run. A good return, you know, maybe some momentum. We have another look here at that run. Able to slip through a tackle there, trying to get that outside edge. Ducks in, good block. Oh, and then that hit. Yeah, you put a stamp on that one.
So we mentioned Trevor Roberts heading to Northern Michigan University, so getting a chance to play on the field. He'll get a chance to hopefully play on for 4 years. As Team Black takes over across midfield, Jace Briggs, handoff Isaac Olson up the middle. Olson squeaks through, and Olson's going to be brought down a few yards short. Looks to be about 3 yards short of the first down. So 2nd down here, and now 3 for the Black team.
Well, good return, and then a nice run up the middle. Probably one of the better runs up the middle we've seen. So, again, we hope for this momentum push for Black here to see if they can keep it going.
Well, when you look at this team and you heard that you had Dan Nasserini, Brendan Middleton, and Isaac Olson, you were wondering why you weren't running a lot, and I think that's what Team Black and Marty Spencer said in the second half. As we see a second handoff this time, again, Isaac Olson, and he's close to the first down. We have 3rd down and maybe an inch here as Isaac Olson running the ball well up the middle.
Well, maybe the coaches during halftime taught them some kind of ways to get better reads on the blocks and find those little tiny gaps.
Well, Rush Bajorn will check in for the red team there. You see him, number 14, running onto the field from Calumet. He's playing middle linebacker there. He's a tough guy. We talked about him coming at you there on hockey skates. He's one of those guys that can do some damage when he's out there. Also played quarterback for Calumet. I formation yet again. Briggs the pitch. Brendan Middleton bounces inside. 1st down for Team Black now. As Brendan Middleton, he only needed about a yard, and he got 2.
Although only 2, that's a 1st down. That's good. That's more momentum.
Corey Cody was on the tackle there, and I mentioned he's a Michigan Tech guy. So is Brendan Middleton. So those two will be able to see each other at the next level at Michigan Tech. So if
that's something Coach Mariucci talked about. He was a little disheartened to see so many guys going to Tech. Of course, him being an NMU alum, he wanted to see some more Wildcats.
That's right. Michigan Tech, of course, getting a lot of great UP talent this year. A class of 23 that they brought in, and I believe 6 or 7 of those were from the UP. So another handoff, this time Dan Nasserini up the middle, and now Team Black, I think they found a good mix here of getting outside, then coming back inside with your power horses here, and it's now 2nd down and 5.
We got another look here. Let's pay close attention to the blocking to see what holes opened up here for Nasserini.
One thing we have to mention, you see Coach Jeff Olson out there on the field, and I mentioned he's an assistant coach in this, but if you ever get a chance to stand on the sideline by Jeff Olson, you know how intense he is.
Yeah, he is definitely an intense guy. Well, that's how you get that's how he gets the best out of his athletes.
5th time here at the All-Star game for Coach Jeff Olson. Getting to coach his son Isaac one last time on the football field. Handoff goes, this time Middleton. Great block there by Isaac Olson on Kingsford's Trevor Roberts. And now Middleton will squeak for about 2 more yards, so I think we'll see about 3rd and 2 coming up. So a gain of 3 there. Yeah, so 3rd and 2.
You mentioned it, that mix between going outside and inside. You got to confuse them.
Well, you have, I feel, 2 of the best power runners in the game in your backfield here in the UP. And and a guy like Dan Nasserini and Isaac Olson. Then you got this very shifty back in Brendan Middleton. And we talked about his all-purpose yards and what he did for Lakeland and Hubble for the past 2 years on a team that's been 18-0 in the regular season.
Yeah, Middleton also playing track and hockey, too. These multi-sport athletes, a lot of them on the field today.
So Steve Ceccia of St. Ignace pitches to Dan Nasserini. Great block. Nasserini with power, and Dan Nasserini still on his feet. He's drugged down finally, but Dan Nasserini, a huge first down. He's brought down at the 9-yard line. Trevor Roberts making the saving tackle. And Trevor Roberts and Dan Nasserini were jawing a little bit there at the end, but you went on the right. That is Dan Nasserini there.
There we go, that pitch out to the right. I think that's where the answer lies. Good blocks. He's able to slip and make his way through, folks. Got brought down a little hard there, but that's football. It's a contact sport. You know that.
And I mentioned that was his statement this week when I asked what the transition is going to be like from going from a 8-man back to 11-man. He said, football's football. I'm just going to play. And that's one of the cool things about Dan Nasserini is he's a guy who was recruited well by Michigan Tech, and they're going to get a stud on the, I believe he's playing defensive side of the ball, so we'll see him on more on defense. And believe me, he can hit. And you can see how he runs. He translates that over well to defense.
Oh,
so
I'm sure.
Inside the 10 now, a handoff goes to Middleton, and he's going to be stopped there by a host of red jerseys. Only about a gain of 1 there, so second down and goal for the black team.
Of course, this is as close as any team has been to the end zone. You can almost smell it. You got to get that push. Got to get in that huddle, that very important huddle that Coach Mariucci talked about last night. Get fired up and get a good push off your line and get that ball in there.
So we're under 9 minutes to play here in the third, and we still have yet to see a score, but Team Black is knocking on the door here. Jace Briggs at quarterback, 2 receivers split, 1 to each side, I formation behind him. Pitch goes, Dan Nasserini. He's almost met in the backfield. He is brought down by a low tackle, but Nasserini able to dive forward, and he's going to get inside the 5 now.
So just earlier, Ethan, you mentioned that, mixing it up. You know, we've seen the sweeps to the right now. Maybe we hit the middle, or maybe try to sweep left if you're Team Black. And,
So
of course, the red team, they don't want to see any of that.
Well, check out the replay here. They're actually calling him down at the 5. So third down and goal. Brock Aho of Nagani, one of the 8 Nagani minors that were able to attend this game. 4 on the red, 4 on the black, and Aho makes a saving tackle there on Dan Nasserini. So third and goal. Middleton is the far back here behind Nasserini. Pitch goes to Middleton to the right. Middleton still up, still on his feet, and I think he's going to be brought down about the 2-yard line. So now fourth and goal from the 2. Crank up the Nos.
Crank up the Nos. Yeah, that kid's a tough runner, man.
You could always put Isaac Olson in the backfield. I think at this point you've seen so many runs go to the right side here this time around. We've seen so many handoffs go to the right. Mix it up, maybe go to the left with Nasserini.
Well, really early in the game, they had a play where the black team, Team Black, they let the pressure come, and they just did a little bloop pass over that pressure to Nasserini.
So I think they're trying to keep it going to the tight end side. We'll see here as we see Middleton and Nasserini in the backfield. Handoff goes to the right here. It's Nasserini. He's going to power forward, and a touchdown. Our first touchdown of the game is Dan Nasserini on a 2-yard score as Team Black has finally broke this scoreless game open. It's now 6-0 in favor of Team Black with 6:56 remaining here in the
Here's a
third.
look at the score. Got some good blocks and just enough of a hole. He broke that plane. Ethan, you said it. Crank up the Nos.
Crank up the Nos and get it behind those big hosses, and that's what happens, baby. That happens there for Dan Nasserini as he gets into the end zone for a touchdown. A lot of big men up in front of him getting those blocks. That's a statement to that offensive line. So here we are for the extra point attempt now, and the field goal, or the extra point, will be attempted by A.J. Weisnick of West Iron County. It's not there, so does he drop punt it as a dead play? And it's just called no good. So the extra point try, unable to be brought in, and that makes it 6-0 in favor of Team Black. We're going to take our first break after a score. That's exciting here as we have Team Black up 6-0 on Fox UP. Welcome back to the Superior Dome here for the UP High School Football All-Star Game as Team Black has just made it on the board. They're up 6-0. Dan Nasserini doing the kickoff duties here. It'll be fielded, I believe, by Garrett O'Neill in the back here. Maybe that's not Garrett O'Neill. It looked like a North Dickinson helmet. Again, a lot of these teams, though, wear their other teammates' logos on their helmet. So I think that might have been Bryce Brodeen that actually got it.
A lot of these players, too, no stranger to playing offense, defense, special teams, a little bit of everything. So Team Black able to put together a nice drive, good sustained, kind of ground and pound efforts all the way into the end zone for the score, and they don't capitalize on the extra point, but still up 6-0.
So now Garrett O'Neill in at quarterback. It wasn't O'Neill on the return. Bryce Brodeen having a check in here. You're going to see him come in on the corner of your screen here. There he is. Play clock ticking down, though. We're at 5 seconds here as Garrett O'Neill gets under center. 2 seconds, he gets the snap off, and he keeps it, fakes a man. He's going to keep it to the outside now. He's got a man to beat. He pushes him down, and O'Neill is able to get a first down. It looks like it is a first down just by a little bit there. A first down as he had Shane Ring ripping him down in the end.
Yeah, good stiff arm, able to get that corner and get just enough for a first. Coach Olson not too pleased with that.
Well, Coach Olson is coaching defense, so that could be part of the reason why, that he's a little bit upset. O'Neill, again. Nope, a good fake. It goes to the outside. Looks like it was Bryce Brodeen on the run. A great fake there to keep that one. Chandler Brown, though, he was going to make sure that the quarterback went down. He stayed with Garrett O'Neill on the outside. But that time it was Bryce Brodeen on the run. A gain of, actually, no gain. That brings up second down and 10 from the 42-yard line for Team Red.
All on the 42-yard line.
Garrett O'Neill in at quarterback. John Pramsky started the game at quarterback. They've moved around. 2 running backs behind him is Hull and Brodeen. He looks Brodeen first. Brodeen now on the catch, this time making up for the drop, and now Brodeen down the sideline, cut back to open field. 2 men to beat. He lowers the shoulder. He's down at the 20-yard line. A huge pickup for Bryce Brodeen. A big gain and a first down.
Well, team spent the whole first half kind of feeling each other out. I think now we see another look at this here. Just out in the open field, running, slipping by folks.
Play was good enough for a first
Cuts
down.
back. Definitely a first down. Good running.
A gain of 38 for Bryce Brodeen and company. And he's going to get a little bit of a breather here now. And Bryce Brodeen, remember, he had that wide open pass that he slipped right through his fingertips early on in this game, and now he makes up for it by catching that one and getting down the sideline and then cutting it back in well. So Garrett O'Neill, I formation behind him. Mac Hull, the fullback there. Actually, okay, splitting the backs over now. And the play clock is dead. So a delay, timeout called. So a timeout called just in time as the clock was running down. And hey, it's 6-0 in favor of Team Black, Team Red threatening. It's the best football players in the UP on Fox UP. And we're back to the Superior Dome here as Team Red takes the field and driving now, first and 10 from the 20-yard line. Garrett O'Neill under center, 2 behind him. Handoff, I believe, went to Mac Hall of Kingsford. The fake went to the new running back in there, Cody Beauchesne of Superior Central.
Yeah, another run up the middle. You don't want to abandon it totally. You still have to kind of try it every now and then and keep the defense honest. And you never know. You might find that little hole like Isaac did earlier for Team Black and break off a little bit of a run.
So Superior Central has 2 players represented here today. One is Cody Beauchesne, and the other one is A.J. Triplett of the Superior Central Cougars. Head coach Sam Eggleston is on the sideline as well for Superior Central, so a little bit of representation in another 8-man team. Handoff here this time will go to the running back. That's Bryce Brodeen of Norway. He's going to get a few yards.
Going back to Triplett real quick. AJ, he knows how to get it done on defense. 87 tackles, 35 solos, 2 sacks, and 4 receiving touchdowns. Defensive captain.
believe he's also one of the other ones that may be pursuing the military after this. I think it was what he had listed, so another guy that may be protecting this country and defending our freedom as well. As we have 3rd down now and 6 from the 15. You talk about Bryce Brodeen and this Norway squad this past year. Went from a season that was, to say forgettable, to a season where they were in the playoffs. And Coach Bob Madigan had his team ready to go. So 3rd down and 6. Garrett O'Neal back to pass. He's going to look for Wyatt Goodwin. No, he rolls out. He's got open field in front of him. Great blocking if he can make it. He cuts in, and now Garrett O'Neal, the 15-yard touchdown scramble, and Team Red is on the board, and it's a tied ball game at 6 apiece.
That's just great running. Now here's the excitement. You know, again, I mentioned feeling each other out in the first half, and now we're here. Here's another look at that run. You see him just diving into the end zone there. A lot of excitement there for Team Red.
So now we'll see if Team Red can get the edge by kicking this one in. And I believe it's John Paramsky that's going to do the kicking. So your 2 quarterbacks back there, Paramsky kicking, Garrett O'Neal the hold. A lot of times when you have someone to hold extra points, you want it to be a quarterback. They're used to taking snaps. This one down. Paramsky's kick is good, and Team Red has the 7-6 lead here with 3:25 remaining. Check out this replay one last time.
Yeah, getting that outside edge, cutting it back in, making a miss. There you go.
So
Give
as I
6.
mentioned, Red up 7-6 here with 3:25 left. We're going to head to break with Team Red leading. It's the UP High School Football All-Star Game on Fox UP. And we're back to the Superior Dome here in Marquette, Michigan, on the banks of Lake Superior, the beautiful Lake Superior. We can't see outside. It's a little overcasted outside, but still, when you're by Lake Superior, I don't think you have really too much to complain about. Garrett O'Neal makes it a 7-6 game right before the break there. You talk about Garrett O'Neal, career stats, 4,320 yards through the air, 44 touchdowns. On the ground, 1,610 yards, 20 touchdowns. As Paramsky's going to squib it here, it is covered by Ivor Stenberg. Stenberg is now brought down near the 25-yard line. They'll mark him at the 24, and that's where Team Black will take over. Back to
Garrett O'Neal. A lot of experience in track as well, and you got to think that comes into play when running the football into the end zone, yeah?
Yeah, D3 UP champion in the 300-meter low hurdles, the 110 high hurdles. He's on the 400-meter relay. Or 4x1, whichever way you want to look at it. There's some people like to call it some ways, some like to call it others. But again, we have Team Black taking over here from their own 24 now. Backs behind Cecilia is Isaac Olson and Dan Nasserini. Handoff goes to Nasserini, and they're going to try a trick play, and it's read well there by Team Red, and it's the Pickford representative here, Chuck Golschel. He also goes to Maplewood Baptist. Was actually Maplewood Baptist's most improved basketball player. So Chuck Golschel representing that east end of the UP, and a big sniff out there to stop the trick play on that reverse.
Really incredible what these kids are able to do, balance multiple sports, keep high GPAs, a lot of them in the National Honor Society. That's just incredible.
So now Steve Cecilia, after losing a few yards there, will have to step up. He's going to roll to his right. Finds a man, that's Dan Nasserini, the juggling one-handed catch. Nasserini brings it in, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. What a play there. What a catch by Dan Nasserini. Check it out.
Yeah, here's another look. Just watch this catch. He rolls out, able to focus on it, bring it in with one hand. That's just a lot of focus, a lot of skill there, not panicking.
A lot of strength as well.
Absolutely. And just awareness too. When you're going to grab it by one hand, you know, you can hear footsteps around you, you know. Be able to focus on that and bring that bad boy in.
I will say the footsteps that are around Dan Nasserini, I don't know if they're going to be steps that he's really worried about. Dan Nasserini, a pretty big guy, and can take a few hits here if he has to.
I give him as well.
So Cecilia back now. He finds a man down the sideline. Wide open is Ivor Stenberg. And hey, Stenberg pulls that one in, and he looks around. No one is around him. The heave for the 75-yard touchdown puts Team Black up 12-7. pending the extra point. What a time to make up for dropping earlier passes for Ivor Stenberg.
Yeah, he caught that one in stride and off to the races. He knew that one was going to be in the end zone. Just the total opposite of the first half here. We've got an explosion in scoring in the third quarter. Good grab out in the open. Yeah, Team Black pretty excited on the sidelines to see that one.
So at this point, I don't know if they're going to go for an extra point. I say go for 2.
Yeah, I would too. You definitely want to see if you can catch
John
back
Pramsky's leg was pretty good, so maybe go for 2. But A.J. Weisnick will be attempting the extra point here to hopefully give Team Black the 6-point lead. And again, the snap is bad, so it's 2 blown extra point attempts here. But Team Black, they have a 12-7 lead, courtesy of a 75-yard touchdown of Ivor Stenberg from Steve Sasia. We'll be back with more action from the UP High School football game right here on Fox UP. And it's all about the gold here at the UP High School football game and getting your name on that plaque there and that trophy.
Speaking of gold, Todd Goldbeck, the guy responsible for putting all this. I was chatting with him yesterday at the banquet. This all started 10 years ago when a lot of the parents of UP athletes felt that UP athletes were underrepresented in the downstate, statewide all-star game.
Well, and a weird bounce there on the return. It looks like it may have bounced off of Trevor Roberts and went to Jalen Skinner, though, so a good recovery for Team Red there as they trail 12-7 here with just a little over a minute and a half remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, look like that ball actually hit the turf right before his feet and hit him in the face mask, I think, and it popped way up.
Well, if that goes to Trevor Roberts, you do have to worry if you're the special teams recovery or the defense at any point, because he is quick. He's playing defense in this game. We've seen his breakaway speed that he's had even on defense. So John Pramsky in at quarterback. He's going to keep this one. He gets a block in front of him, but he's only going to get about a yard because the defense there is to sniff that one out. And a big stop there for Team Black. Carter Garengilly of Gwinn, another Gwinn representative, was one of the faces in there on the stop.
Yeah, he had 108 tackles, 89 solo, and 1 interception, did Garengilly, so he knows what he's doing on defense. Got to imagine Coach Olson definitely don't want to give any more momentum here to Team Red on this drive.
It's always cool to see these coaches that are such big names and the experience of how they work together as well in a game like this. So John Pramsky back to pass again. He looks like he's looking at Wyatt Goodwin the whole time. Goodwin never sees his quarterback looking for him. So now directing traffic, and he's got a man across the middle, but skips it across the turf. I believe that was intended for his receiver, Jalen Skinner, out of Gwinn, but the ball skips to him. If that's a catch, though, that's bad news for Team Black.
Yep, just a little short on that throw. Here's another look. Kind of scrambling around. Trying to, yeah, as you said, direct traffic there. Yeah, ball comes up just short. Those broken plays, it's tough to say how it goes either way. Get a look at the red team fans there.
And even the littlest of fans are here today.
That's right. Maybe cheering on their big brother.
Hopefully being here in a few years or several years down the road. That's what a lot of these young fans in the stands are hoping, that they can represent their high school in the UP as well as they can. And it looks like flags are thrown. I think we're going to get the old delay of game here. Oh, a false start. So it's going to back the offense up 5.
Yeah, they were close to a delay of game, though. There was only 1 second left on the game play clock.
So 3rd down and 14 with the ball now placed at the 26-yard line as we have 37 seconds here in the third quarter. So John Pramsky will try and get some yardage here and flip the field, hopefully, if they have to punt. So here's John Pramsky back. He's going to heave one. Bobby Kleiman down the side. Short, but Kleiman stops, makes the catch. First down across midfield to the 44-yard line is Bobby Kleiman. And Kleiman, another big catch off a wheel route.
That was just great awareness by Kleiman. You mentioned it. The ball was a little short. He hesitated just enough. Here's another look. Puts that ball up. Again, a lot of air underneath it. There's the realization that it's a little short. Stops, grabs it, and nice big gain for Team Red, moving along, getting some momentum.
And I have to make this comment. The catch, teammate Tyler Bentley couldn't stop him, North Central Jet teammate. So John Pram's going to run that one up the middle and get about a gain of 2 now. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 8. And now flags coming in.
Some extracurricular activities.
I was watching the clock here, didn't actually see what happened towards the end of that. We have 15 seconds stopped on the game clock here. So unsportsmanlike conduct on Team Red.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see, especially after a big gain like that.
And coaches now on the field trying to figure out what happened. We talked about Team Red's coaching staff. It's 3 Kangases. Got 2 coaches from Lakeland and Hubble on there, a coach from Newberry, and I know I'm probably leaving some coaches out here, but a pretty good crop of coaches as well. Jim Bellick from Kearney NATO in his first All-Star game because he brought back a football program this year to Kearney NATO, so a big shout out to Coach Jim Bellick and getting Kearney NATO back in. It's 8-man football.
Yeah, we like to see that. We like to see these teams thrive.
You have, of course, Todd Kangas, Guard Kangas, Cody Kangas, and then you'll have Ken Klein, Leon Sutherland, Pete Paramsky, and Sam Eagleson out there. So now handoff goes to Rapid River's Austin Wicklund, but he's met quickly in the backfield by Zeke Oswald of Bark River Harris, and that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter as Team Black leads Team Red 12-7. It's the best football players in the Upper Peninsula right here on Fox UP. Welcome back in here to the UP High School Football All-Star Game. It's the 10th annual, and it's commonly known by a lot as the Uper Bowl. It's the best high school football players in the UP. As we see one of those, Paramsky gives to his running back, and then throw back to Paramsky, no good, and now another flag on the play. And if this is on Team Red, I said country mile earlier, and this might be at least an acre of footage or of yards that you have to make up here.
Yeah, I don't know what comes after a country mile.
This is going to be a long one if it's against Red. You can start hearing some of the chirping from, of course, the families in attendance. It is against Team Black, though. So roughing the passer on the defense will now be a 3rd down, and still a long 3rd down. More manageable than we just saw.
For sure. Yeah.
3rd and 23 is a lot different from 3rd and 10. So Team Red now with the chance to make something happen here if they can get something going. Maybe a pass through the air at this point and trying to get a guy like Bobby Kleiman going if you can.
Yeah, we've seen him do some good things so far. You're right. I think a lot of their offense really hinges on him and getting the ball in his hands.
Well, Wyatt Goodwin will be one of the receivers. It's not going to be the North Central Jets' Bobby Kleiman, but Paramsky, he looked Goodwin first, then went on a slant route there to his receiver, and it's just too far inside. He cannot grab it. Pass intended for Eric Hurst of Nagani, another fairly big receiver for Nagani, and had a lot of good catches between Brock Aho and Eric Hurst.
Yeah, the practice this week, working out timing and patterns, and it's a tough thing. It's a lot crammed into a short amount of time.
So 4th down and 10 now from the 43. At least got across midfield thanks to a penalty that helped out after having a penalty that hindered the drive. And we're going to see a punt now, and Ivor Stenberg, Brendan Middleton back deep to return the Garrett O'Neill punt. It's straight up in the air, though. It's only going to get a few yards now and bounces. Everybody gets away from it. Team Red finally downs it. That's Trevor Roberts. He downs it at the 38-yard line is where they're going to mark it. So a punt from the 43 to the 38.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. That was almost
straight up in the air. So about a 5-yard punt.
So what kind of strategy do you take here, Ethan? We keep handing it off to Nasserini. What would you do?
I would keep going with the offensive run at this point. It's worked so very well for you. You mix it up going with Nasserini, Olsen, and Brendan Middleton. You have the lead.
Sure.
So that might be one way to kind of keep going with it. So we'll see what happens here as Jace Briggs checks in at quarterback. The pitch goes to Middleton out the outside. He's got a great block from Daniel Nasserini. He's still running. He's got a first down, drug out about midfield. And we'll see where the official mark is here. The official's coming out to stop here. Actually, he looks like he was pushed out of bounds before midfield. Still first down. He's down at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, the only way that could have gone better, I suppose, for Team Black is if that was he was able to stay in bounds and chew up some more clock, I suppose. But you said it. I think we just kind of run this one out, grind it, and keep handing it to Isaac and Nasserini. Middleton there. That was a nice run, able to get the corner.
And again, a great block up front by these offensive linemen on the outside there. I think it's Travis Christensen on the guard there on the left side from Marquette as Jay Spriggs again now. Handoff goes. Isaac Olson. He goes up the middle, dances around, still on his feet, near the first down and over. A first down pickup now for Isaac Olson by maybe the nose of the ball, the way they're marking it here. So Team Black just running it down the defense's throat here, and that's actually what Mike Ludlam, he came up here and he spoke to us at halftime, and he said, hey, you know, they need to keep running the three guys that have been running the ball well. So
yeah, that's correct. Mike Ludlam, he knows a thing or two about sports in the Upper Peninsula. That was his strategy, what he would do.
So now 1st and 10 from the 45 as Jay Spriggs has two backs behind of him. Handoff goes. Middleton has got blocks in front of him, finds the hole, still on his feet. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds after a gain of about 7. So we should see 2nd down and 3 coming up. We'll get actually about 2nd and 4 now. So a gain of about 6 there. Ball now at the 39-yard line.
Ethan, both you and I have experience playing football in high school. And my coach was often fond of saying, I'll take 4 yards every down, 5 yards every down.
Yeah, you'd rather have a second and short if you can make it happen. You'd rather have a 3rd and very short and a 4th and inches if you have to go on 4th. So that is one thing that coaches will like if you get a running back that can pick up 5 or 6 every time. So Jay Spriggs still in at quarterback. He's got a receiver to his right, Nasserini behind him. Handoff goes to Isaac Olson. Olson this time met in the backfield. Great read by the Team Red, but Olson still trying to stay on his feet. He's not one of those guys that likes to go down easily. Brought down by Dante Thurston, whose cheering section I think is like right in front of us here from West Iron County. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 now for Team Black. So ball back on the 40 now. We'll see the strategy here if Jay Spriggs decides to throw it or not, and if that's the call from Coach Marty Spencer. He's got 2 receivers that are going to be to his right now. He's got a tight end, I believe, on the backside left. I formation, pitch goes, Nasserini. He's got Olson blocked for him. Olson with a big pickup on the block, and Dan Nasserini, they mark him short, it looks like, of the first down marker. But Dan Nasserini, I think he got that one.
Yeah, well, are they going to take time out to measure here?
No, they call it pretty short there. His foot must have been out on that side over there.
Well, here's an interesting one. At fourth down, not a insurmountable amount of yards. What do you do here? This is a good one.
Run the ball. Run the ball.
Right up the middle?
Right up the middle. Don't pull the Pete Carroll. Don't throw the ball on the 1-yard line. At this point, 4th and inches, give the ball to a guy like Dan Nasserini, a guy like Isaac Olson. Even if you want to try and put 3 backs in there, run the old smokestack and try and get it to Middleton with 2 big guys blocking for him. But I will say this, Team Red will be bringing the heat with Russ Bajorn and Adam Hildebrandt there in the middle. Look how many people they're loading in the box right now.
Yep.
Even the safety, Brock Aho, has stepped up on this one. Handoff, no, it's a keeper by Jay Spriggs, and that's the old Tom Brady #1 up the middle there.
Yeah, he got that easily. Even with all those folks in the box there, like you said, he found that little seam, and then first down, easy peasy.
So first down here, we're at 12:16. Clock is stopped for the change, for the line to get set there and the chains to get set. So we're now at about 12 minutes remaining in this contest here. Team Black up 12-7 and driving at this point. They're at their 37-yard line going in. Looks like Steve Cecia's back in the game from St. Ignace, a quarterback with some great numbers. He has 2 backs behind him. Handoff, no, it's a pitch out to Isaac Olson. Olson steps back in. Hankey on the play. Dan Nasserini looked like he had a pretty good block, and Olson had a few yards, but they do throw the flag on the play.
Brought down by Jared Sawyers. Flag on the play.
And it's a holding against the offense.
Yep. Well, if you're Team Red, that's what you want. You definitely want to stifle them, slow them down, anything that can stop them. Maybe at this point, too, be looking to strip that ball loose, get a turnover. That can really switch things up for you.
So first down, and a lot. That's what it looks like here from up top. First in a while here, first and 22.
22, yeah.
So the ball is going to be on the 43-yard line. It was up at the 37. The play clock is counting down. We're under 10 seconds here as Cecilia and Nasserini check the play here. Middleton is in the backfield. Receiver split to the right. Pitch goes Middleton. Middleton, great blocking in front of him. Cuts back, hurdles a man, and is brought down finally just about 2 yards short of the original line of scrimmage. So now second down is about 2nd and 12.
Yeah, great play. I mean, that hurdle there, that was able to get him a few extra.
I believe the tackle's going to be credited to Chuck Golschel. So the nose guard getting over to actually make that tackle later down the field. So a big pickup there.
Yeah, you don't see that too often. I played nose guard. Here's another look at it. Just a simple pitch out to Middleton there. Got lots of room to run, and then this little hurdle there. I like that. Got him a few extra, maybe 3 extra yards on that.
So I formation now on 2nd down and 12 from the 34. Pitch goes to Dan Nasserini, cuts in. He's got room. A low tackle there. Brings him down. There's a low tackle made by Steven Suanen from Lake Linden Hubble, and I believe, if I'm correct, and Jerry, you'll have to fact check me here, Steven Suanen from Lake Linden Hubble was actually on the U.S. team that represented the United States for Guts Frisbee in London and back in 2016. So just last year he was over across the pond playing Guts Frisbee.
Yeah, how cool is that? Guts Frisbee, if you haven't had a chance to see it, you really need to check it out this summer. It's such a fun sport.
It looks like Team Black's going to take a timeout, and I think we might as well take a timeout with them here. It is Team Black up 12-7. You're watching UP High School football on Fox UP. So while the skies might be a little gloomy outside of the Superior Dome, inside, as the joke always is, it's perfect conditions.
That's right. We got those bright lights shining.
So Team Black now up 12-7, driving here at 3rd down and 7 from the red 30. Pitch goes, Dan Nasserini, great block from Isaac Olson on the backside. Got a few more blue helmets. Ashok Ravindran in front of him. And a big pickup there, so it makes it 4th down.
That's the type of runner he is, though. He had the chance to kind of bounce it out even further, but he saw that pile, ran right into it, and drove it further for a few more yards.
Another future teammate of his as well at Michigan Tech, Ashok Ravindran. Quiz Bowl guy, NHS guy, Key Club guy. I believe he's going to play defense as well.
Hey, when we say we've got the best of the best from across the UP, that's no joke.
It's in a lot of things. It's in a lot of things. And actually, you're going to see on Team Red right now, and Travis Christensen of Marquette. I believe I said he was on the black team earlier. He is on Team Red with teammate Wyatt Goodman from Marquette, trying to get the crowd up as Dan Nasserini gets the handoff on 4th down. He finds a hole. He was close, but it looks like he might have been stopped short. Is that Brock Aho who came in on the tackle? Oh, they call it for Suanen. Looks like Aho was in the neighborhood as well. I was say, if Brock Aho's not the biggest guy on the field, if he went up heads with Dan Nasserini, credit to the former Nagani quarterback on that one for stepping up and making a big play. Not that he's not been known to do that. A guy who's been able to catch several interceptions in his career and pretty intelligent as well.
Yeah, also rocking a 4.0 GPA and lettering in basketball and baseball.
Looks like Team Black was just short on that measurement.
Well,
so Team Red.
Christensen hyping up that crowd, man. Maybe that helps.
Team Red takes over. 9:06 remaining in this ball game. They're down 12-7. It looks like we'll see maybe a Garrett O'Neill in this game. He's led the drive that had the touchdown for Team Red, and he's going to run onto the field now. Bobby Kleiman in tow with him.
That was a pretty big stop for Red Team D.
And now Team Red, you can hear the fans, a few of them in front of us, getting excited to see their team come out. As Garrett O'Neill has two receivers split for him. Bobby Kleiman down to his left. He looks at Kleiman. Kleiman, the little out route. Instead, he's going to go across the middle. A wide open receiver. It's caught with two hands down. Running down the side, I believe that's Justin Ball. And Ball is going to be down near the 20-yard line as Bobby Kleiman comes up to help his teammate push forward. So a beautiful play there by Justin Ball. But a flag is down in between the 15 and 10-yard line, down about the 12. Roughing the passer against Team Black, so that's going to be declined. But check it out, wide open, Justin Ball.
Huge, nothing but green in front of him. Yeah, that flag had me worried that play would be coming back.
So Justin Ball was one of the players. Now, and listen to this, Justin Ball last weekend was at the UP Basketball All-Star Game. So Justin Ball coming out. What about this, though? A.J. Weisnick and Bobby Kleiman on two different teams here. But both of them, for the past 3 weeks, have been in 3 different All-Star games now. The Border Bash against the Northern Wisconsin schools, the UP All-Star basketball game, and now UP All-Star football. But Justin Ball.
It's just a testament to some of the incredible athletic talent we have here in the UP. And that's why this UP All-Star football game got started. A lot of Upper Michigan residents felt slighted, by the statewide All-Star game. Felt there weren't enough athletes from up here.
We do have one representative in the, I believe, in the Michigan high school football all-star game. That's Tanner Mathias, who actually went to Menominee, and he's going to be going to Western Michigan. And it looks like that roughing the passer might be added on at the end of that play there, unless there was another flag that was thrown that I missed. But Justin Ball from Norway High School with the big catch, completely flips the field there. And now Team Red's driving. O'Neal, handoff. He gives to Bryce Brodeen, but Brodeen fumbles, and he's able to fall back on it. So Bryce Brodeen will lose a few yards there as he fumbles, but is able to stick his arm out and recover.
Yeah, if you fumble the ball like that, best case scenario is you're able to get it back yourself. That's exactly what happened there.
You got to remember, a lot of these games that these young men are used to playing are normally in the snow.
Yeah.
Are normally in colder conditions. It's fairly warm here.
Wait, it's June. There's no snow in June.
During football season, these young men are used to bundling up or playing in colder conditions. This is actually very warm inside the Superior Dome. Some of these guys might have to worry about getting some sweat off of them. Garrett O'Neal now, 2nd and 15 from the 15. Looks back. He has his man, Austin Wicklund. Wicklund is down because you cannot get up from the ground after making it if your knees are down. So that is a high school rule. Of course, in the pros, you're able to get up as long as you are not touched down.
Yep.
But in high school football, you are down there. So no gain there. 3rd and 15 now. From the 15, still a chance for a first down, but you have to get, on the inch to get a first down.
Yeah. Yeah, so at that point, probably just take a stab towards the end zone.
So 7.5 minutes remaining here in the game. Team Red driving down 12-7. 3rd and 15 now for Team Red. Garrett O'Neal still in at quarterback. Sends a man over. That's Skinner. Drops back to pass. He's got Brodeen across the middle. He's going to go heave it up into the end zone. A great play by Marcus McKinney of Menominee just to bat that one around. And that's going to bring up 4th down. Marcus McKinney, another guy who was at that all-star basketball game just last weekend.
Yeah, tons of accolades for him. All GNC basketball first team captain, all UP Class ABC second team. Coaches 8th grade boys basketball. Here's a look at that. Yeah, really in danger of being picked off there. But incomplete nonetheless.
You got to give credit to Marcus McKinney as well on the jump there, just timing it perfectly to get up and get at the highest point as possible. That could have been an interception. We could be talking about Team Black driving again with those impressive running backs that they have.
Sure. Yep, that was quite the elevation.
So 4th and 15. Everyone's spread out. Garrett O'Neal back. The rush is on. He gives to Wyatt Goodwin, but Aaron Bolo tips it. Wyatt Goodwin catches it, and that's a touchdown for Team Red. What concentration by Wyatt Goodwin to catch that ball on the Aaron Bolo tip.
Wow, what a great play. Yeah, as you said, just concentration on that. It went right through. Here's another look at that. 15 drops back, just chucks it in there. You can see him put everything he has on that one. And it goes right through the hands of Team Black. Oh, man. That's an exciting play.
So Wyatt Goodwin, the catch, and check out this angle. We're going down to that field camera there, right in that end zone. O'Neal with the chuck. Bolo thinks he has it. Wyatt Goodwin says, no, I got it. And he's living up to the Marquette hype of receivers in this All-Star game. Last year, Patrick Burmeister, who Jerry will tell you I lost to pretty handily in a race, not only was the fastest man last year like Wyatt Goodwin is this year, but also a terrific catch that we saw in the corner of the end zone now.
Yeah, you said it, concentration. You know, you got to stick with the ball even if it gets tipped.
So it's 13-12 in favor of Team Red. They're calling for 1 point here. That's what Coach Kangas is yelling out to his sideline. 7:08 remaining in this ball game. Garrett O'Neal will hold. John Paramsky will be the extra point specialist in this game for Team Red. And the kick is up, and it's through the uprights and good. So Team Red takes the 14-12 lead with 7:08 remaining here in the ball game. We're going to take a break. It's got close. We've seen scoring thus far, so when we come back, we'll see hopefully some great drives to follow this up. You're watching the best high school football players in the Upper Peninsula right here on Fox UP. So after a scoreless first half here at the UP High School Football All-Star Game inside the Superior Dome, we've seen scoring galore, 26 points between the two teams, with Team Red currently up 14-12.
Yeah, it's still pretty evenly matched, though. They're trading punches here.
And now a squib kick by Paramsky. It's going to roll, and I think he thought maybe his guy on the outside would get there in time to recover it, but instead it's going to go out of bounds, and that is a penalty there on Team Red. I think he was aiming for, I believe, Chris Lemire of Escanaba to get down there, and Lemire was down there, just couldn't get there quick enough.
Yep, kick out of bounds. There it is.
So ball spot at the 35 for Team Black, and I know Jerry's looking for some stuff on Chris Lemire, and you want to know this guy, I think he could be governor of Michigan one day. He's heading down to Michigan State.
Yes, indeed. Business Professionals of America, two-time Mikey D. Character Award, second team All-Conference, All-State, Leadership Council, does hockey, golf, and tennis.
So a ball on the ground here to start. Jace Briggs recovers it, though, and he's met by several helmets that give him a good pop there.
Yeah,
a loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Yeah, he got sandwiched pretty good. He doesn't seem to be any worse for wear. So now the clock, I mean, it's 6 minutes. It's still winding down. You want to drive down and get that last score, right?
So here's a playbook that Coach Marty Spencer should be asking from Coach Jeff Olson. How do you soak up 6 minutes? And he's going to tell you to run ice. That's the simple answer right there.
Yep.
If you ask Coach Jeff Olson what to do, you run ice. You run the ball. Simple. He's done that multiple times and won a few state championships because of it. So Brandon Middleton on the pitch. He's got some great blocks in front of him. Still on his feet, still rumbling and bumbling there, and he's going to be brought down just short of the 40-yard line.
Stays in bounds.
3rd down. And about 6 to go here. So a gain of 5 on the run. Ball placed at the 39-yard line. Clock is ticking. We're now under 6 minutes remaining here in the game. Team Black, a bit of a crucial 3rd down. Got to make something happen here. Need to either get close or get the first down to kind of keep that clock rolling.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is an important down here for sure.
Jace Briggs has Daniel Nasserini and Isaac Olson behind him. Calls for it. There's the pitch to Nasserini. Great blocks. Nasserini up the middle. Gets brought down. Just maybe an inch short of the first down. Looks like where they're marking him. Looks like the side official on our side here, Jerry, gave him a little bit shorter. So about a yard away here with 4th down coming up. Oh, but there it is. Now we're going to have to see. There's a first down called on the field.
He got a good spot on that.
There was a good spot. It looks like they might have moved him up a little bit on the actual call. So a first down. So now ball at the 45, and once the chains are set, the clock rolls. And we're getting closer to that 5-minute mark now. So now I formation. Briggs in at quarterback, 2 receivers to his right. That's Stenberg and Weisnick. Pitch goes, Isaac Olson. He cuts in off Dan Nasserini. Trevor Roberts is there for the tackle, but a yard or 2 there. We'll call it 2 for Isaac Olson, 2nd down and 8.
Yep, 2 for Olson. You grind it out. We keep going. Clock keeps rolling.
It's 14-12 in favor of Team Red. That was off of a beautiful catch by Wyatt Goodwin off the Aaron Bolo tip to put Team Red up 14-12.
We've seen some whiteouts with some good concentration, keeping their eye on the ball, following it, and staying with it. And that last touchdown was a great example of that.
So now, as we get under the 4.5-minute mark here, Jace Briggs, pitch goes, Brendan Middleton. Middleton gets a block from Nasserini, still on his feet around the outside. He's got wide open field in front of him. Count it, 10-5. Brendan Middleton of Lakeland and Hubble puts Team Black up 18-14, pending the extra point now. And Brendan Middleton, a 47-yard scoot for the touchdown. Excuse me, that would be actually more than 47. I think we have almost I think like a 53-yard scoot for the touchdown. We'll see
look.
here.
Just as he gains the corner, man, he's gone. He's got nothing but green in front of him, and it's touchdown city.
Big touchdown there for Middleton to put his team up. Now the extra point has to be a good hold by Cecilia. It has to be a good kick by Weisnick of West Iron County. This time, good catch. Holds down, kicks good. So A.J. Weisnick puts Team Black up 19-14 as we have 4:12 remaining in this ball game, and it's just heated up right here on Fox UP. And we're back here for the UP High School Football All-Star Game as Team Black just regained the lead. So we mentioned it was a scoreless first and then a scoring explosion here in the second half as Dan Nasserini tees up and will kick off for Team Black. This one's going to go deep, and it looks like it's bounced off Trevor Roberts. He's able to corral it, though, and he's got some room in front of him. Open field tackle, though, a good stop there by Mitchell Peterson of St. Ignace. So Trevor Roberts thought he had some wide open room, and the 100-meter dash specialist could have been gone had he have broke to that outside.
Yeah, brought down just by the shoestrings, as they say. So earlier I was talking about kind of winding down the clock, trying to chew up some time, but another option is you could always just go down and score again.
That is true. You could have a chance where you could just try and turn this into a shootout even more so late.
Yeah,
Garrett O'Neill stays in at quarterback now, keeps the handoff, but almost tackled in the backfield, and eventually is brought down for a loss of 1. Neil Violetta gets the tackle there. Michael Pizziola of Nagani, a fellow Nagani minor with Neil Violetta. Those two actually will get the tackle made.
Violetta, normally playing running back, racked up 1,115 yards, 14 touchdowns, and he also coaches flag football.
So now Garrett O'Neill, after a loss of 1, has to go to the air, and he's going to look for his man, Wyatt Goodwin. No, goes across the middle. Bryce Brodeen, wide open. Actually give that Justin Ball wide open, and Justin Ball again puts the dagger in the defense there as he gets wide open across midfield, and he's going to be brought down on the other side at the 44.
Another big play. Here's a look at it. Rolling out. Looking for Justin again. There he is. Hits him right in stride. Able to cross midfield. Big play. Both teams just trading punches here.
So 3:20 remaining in this ball game as Garrett O'Neill yelling out a change maybe to the play as he has Bobby Kleiman in the backfield with him. Calls for it. Handoff goes. Kleiman. Kleiman has a man to beat, still on his feet. No, tackled for a loss. That's Chandler Brown of Nagani with a big stop there to get Kleiman back to the 50.
Yeah, Kleiman's fast, but there's nothing he could really do there. He was covered.
That was sniffed out well by Chandler Brown, so Bobby Kleiman stopped for a loss there. And now Team Red fighting the clock here. 2:42 remaining in the game. we'll have to see what they're going to do here. Do they go back to the air now at 2nd down? 2nd and 16. Here he is, O'Neal back. Looks like it could have been a screen. No, he decides to heave it up to Austin Wicklund. Instead, it's an interception for Team Black. The safety playing well out there. Pulls in the interception, and I believe that was by a Calumet Copper King, Jack Sturos, who's going to make that catch for the interception.
Here's a look. You can see he's got all day. He was looking to hit a man right in the middle. Overthrown right into Sturos.
Jack Sturos, when you mention Calumet, a lot of times people will think hockey player. Jack Sturos, of course, a hockey player. I believe he was part of the Tier 3 U18 guys who went down and actually won a national championship. I think he was a part of that team as well.
Yeah, he also lettered in track and baseball, too. So
he was on that team with guys like Rory Anderson and Russ Bajorn, I believe, was on that team. You had guys from Hancock, Houghton, Calumet, a few other places mixed in there on that team. So got a national championship there as well. Handoff now goes to Isaac Olson, and Isaac Olson dancing around and has a lot of room in front of him. Flags are down on the play as the helmet comes off. Back in the backfield, I think that might be on the defense as we have 2:09 remaining, and the point goes towards, face mask there called on Team Red. So more yards added there for Team Black as they start their drive. 2:09, as I mentioned. Up 19-14 is Team Black over Team Red. A big run there by Isaac Olson, and now the yardage that they get courtesy of the face mask puts them at the 49-yard line. And once I think the chains get set, they will start the clock. They do. So now it's the game that Marty Spencer and company would want.
Absolutely. Ball's
Run
in
the
your
clock.
court. Yep.
Steve Ceccia checks back in the game from St. Ignace. Behind him, Isaac Olson and Daniel Nasserini. And Ceccia has the courtesy of having the play clock right in front of him. It's down to 4 seconds. Handoff goes Nasserini. Nasserini just going to barrel forward. A gain of a few there. Timeout called by Team Red. We'll keep the action here and talk a little bit about what's happened this week for these young men. This is not just a game that they get to play. As much as you like to see these guys and you like to see your kids get a chance to play one more time in their high school helmet and with some of their high school teammates, this is more of a game about giving back to the community.
Yeah, that's something Todd Goldbeck really stressed, and that was, shown in their visit to Bay Cliff, and the money that they've raised and donations to other teams like Kearney NATO. That was kind of the point they wanted to drive home, that it's important for these kids to use their talents to give back to the community that has been so supportive of them throughout their high school careers.
Yeah, Kearney NATO and Gwinn, of course, receiving a donation, and then several other schools will also receive donations for their of practice equipment and things of that nature. And I believe some of those teams are teams like, there we have the trophy that we're going to be playing for. This will be handed out soon, but St. Ignace, Kingsford, Calumet, and Pickford will get practice jerseys, game balls from this game, and of course, you see what everybody was playing for, that trophy, that beautiful trophy that'll say either Team Black or Team Red here in the next minute and a half. As Team Black lines up 2nd down and 8. In the backfield is Dan Nasserini and Brendan Middleton. Steve Ceccia thinks he can just kind of wait for it, but he doesn't realize the clock isn't running. So there he goes, steps under center. Handoff goes to Middleton. He's got great blocks in front of him. Push back, though, and now Middleton has to recover. He's going to get back near the line of scrimmage, and I believe we're going to see another timeout here called by Team Red.
Yeah, you don't want to count this one down. I mean, all it takes is one play. We've seen that.
We've seen that several times in this game. We'll talk a little bit about how the scoring got started here. It was a scoreless first half. Then it was led by Dan Nasserini on a 2-yard score on 4th down to give Team Black the 6-0 lead after a failed PAT attempt. But back the other way goes Garrett O'Neal, who scores from about 15 yards out on a quarterback keeper, puts his team up 7-6 on a converted extra point. Back the other way, it was a touchdown by Team Black. And then we got to see the amazing catch there by Wyatt Goodwin to put Team Red up 14-12 at that point. And then Brendan Middleton breaks the huge run there to put Team Black up 19-14 after a completed extra point attempt for the first time for A.J. Weisnick and Steve Cecile holding that one. So we're at 19-14 courtesy of those scoring plays.
We're trading punches again. The game's not over with a minute 39. All it takes is one more big play. We can easily see that from the red team if they're able to get the ball back.
3rd down and 10 from Team Black's own 49. They're up 19-14 with 1:29 remaining in the game. It's Jace Briggs under center here. Behind him, Nasserini and Olsen. Handoff, no. Pitch to Nasserini. Nasserini trying to cut back in. The meat of the defense will get there. And so now 4th down approaching. And I don't know, does Team Red have one last timeout? Let's see. They have no timeouts left. So at this point, if you're punting, which Team Black will punt, you're going to hold this down until at least a second. You'll get a good snap, and you'll kick it as far as you can, unless Team Black decides to call a timeout, which is possible.
Or take a delay of game, back it up 5 yards, give you more room to punt.
Well, they're putting in Kleiman and they're putting in Goodwin. Timeout by the black team with 1 second on the play clock. So 48 seconds remain in this one. And so what turned from a 0-0 game, a scoreless game in the first half where people were wondering what's going to happen. We had a scoring explosion in the second half, and now we're 48 seconds away from handing out that beautiful trophy down there on the sideline. And we don't know who it's going to go to at this point.
Yeah, not really. I mentioned the draft and how that created an even playing field, and I think it took the whole first half for both teams to feel each other out and see what they could get away with. There was a lot of running by Dan Nasserini, a lot of sweeps to the outside. Isaac Olsen had his fair share as well, but the red team, kept it close, and they're still within striking distance. Obviously, 6 points puts them up 1 by 1, and they win.
So here's the point that we have to kind of go back to. The 2 failed extra point attempts playing big now for Team Black as they only have a 5-point lead. So as you mentioned, a touchdown does win this for Team Red, pending nothing crazy. We don't want to say it's over till it's over, obviously.
Sure.
So pending something that could be insane, like a kickoff return or something like that if they score with time remaining. At this point, if Team Red is able to milk this clock and able to get to the end zone and score with 48 seconds, and they're able to make the time expire, they win courtesy of just that touchdown.
That's right.
No extra point needed at this point. So Dan Nasserini into punt on 4th and 7 from the 48. Nothing crazy, a blocked punt, and it's going to be recovered by the red team. And that one looks like it's going to be down and recovered at the 44-yard line.
And they got 41 seconds to go in the opposite direction.
Some coaches on the field right now. I don't know if they're happy about that. I know there hadn't been many rushes on punts.
Yeah, no.
So I wonder if that one's considered because it was a block or if they consider it because Nasserini stepped up into it. But either way, 41 seconds. Ball at the 39-yard line for Team Red. Garrett O'Neal on at quarterback. Bobby Kleiman to his left. Wyatt Goodwin split out to his left. O'Neal takes a snap, drops back, looks to his left, rolls around. He's got defense on him. He's guard, and he's thrown down in the backfield for a sack.
That is a huge sack.
Chandler Brown of Nagani with a huge sack on first down, puts this one back down at the 21-yard line. Check out the replay here. 21 seconds remaining as Garrett O'Neal getting to the line. Chandler Brown just a beautiful job. Now confusion as the 2 receivers try to get split and get set. 10 seconds. Handoff goes to Kleiman. Reverse goes to Goodwin. Reverse back to O'Neal. O'Neal looking for something. Across the middle is Kleiman. Kleiman drops it with 3 seconds remaining in the ball game.
You can hear the other side, the Team Black over there, their fans really stomping on the stands, making it real loud during the game.
So at this point, you say 3rd and 25 with the ball placed at the 20-yard line. At this point, though, with 3 seconds left, it's 3rd and a touchdown.
Yeah, it's Hail Mary time, really.
This is where you get your best receivers out there and try and throw something up.
Streak.
So now Goodwin split out to the left, climbing in the backfield. Garrett O'Neal at quarterback. You got a tight end in there as well. Play called, false start. I believe it's on the offense, and this might make it from the 15 now.
Yeah, not ideal. Again, it's going to be, you're going to throw it up and pray.
So you got to hope that this play goes 85 yards to win this game. And, of course, anything is possible. That's why we're not counting anything out with 3 seconds left. Kleiman still in the backfield with O'Neal. Goodwin to O'Neal's left. He's back to pass. The rush is on. He's going to step up. He's going to heave. Wyatt Goodwin looks up. And this one, it ends with an interception by Marcus McKinney of Menominee. All he's got to do is run the clock out and go down at this point. Everybody's still pushing around. McKinney, though, he says, I don't want to go down. I'm trying to run this out, but it ends there as Marcus McKinney pulls in the game-winning interception. You see Team Black storming the field in this close contest. Team Black gets the win, 19-14 over Team Red. We'll be back with our post-game reaction coming up here on Fox UP. Well, after a scoreless first half, you never would have thought this game would come down to one final heave and an interception by Marcus McKinney of Menominee to give Team Black the 19-14 victory. And Jerry, I know this was your debut. Was this something that you would have ever imagined you could have called your first time?
No, it was pretty exciting. It was a lot of fun and interesting to see how, it started with that scoreless first half and both teams feeling each other out, and then just an explosion of scoring, both teams trading blows back and forth in the second half. Great effort from both teams. It was a good game.
So let's check out the highlights here. We see this first pass. That's Bobby Kleiman. This is back from the first half. Kleiman pulling in this beautiful catch to put his team, and that was the first down of the game, I believe,
even
to set that one up.
Good coverage, too.
Back the other way, this is Jace Briggs from Team Black heaving one up. He finds his receiver. No, Ivor Stenberg was unable to bring it in. Ivor does make up for it, though, in the second half. We'll get to that.
Yeah, in the first half, we see plenty of overthrown balls and a lot of good D. Another a sack here for Team Red. Another look at the same sack. Defense and overthrown passes, kind of the name of the game in the first half. But here we see it. Another one. Was that one? That one had a flag on it.
I believe that one eventually got called for a flag on it, and that gave Garrett O'Neal room from after midfielder or John Paramsky there as he finds Bryce Brodeen, but another drop. Players trying to adjust to the lights, trying to adjust to the sweat. Then check out this one. It's Brendan Middleton who had a good run here and a great bounce around as he's finally brought down by Adam Hildebrandt, but he was cross midfield. A good run there by Middleton and Lakeland and Hubble and the success he had in high school.
Yeah, he had a great game. Lots of good runs. Touchdown from Nasserini there, breaking the plane, and getting our first score of the game in the third quarter.
Yeah, Nasserini muscles that in on 4th and goal to give the first score of the game in favor of Team Black. They were up 6-0 after the failed PAT attempt there as it went through Cecia's hands. So that set up the first score. And it was back the other way for Team Red. You see, that is actually Bryce Brodeen of Norway getting a catch and then making some action happen down the field. Was able to set up Garrett O'Neal later on in this drive, and we're going to see that coming up as Bryce Brodeen finally brought down after a huge pickup of a 30-plus yard play there, and here it is.
Yep, that's the one that set up this little scramble, run to the outside. Lots of room to run. You cut it back in the middle, and that's a touchdown.
And Garrett O'Neal on this touchdown put Team Red up 7-6 after the converted PAT attempt from John Paramsky, and there was just a great run around there for Garrett O'Neal. And then Team Black would have to have some sort of answer. They're on offense here. Pitch goes. That's Middleton. Middleton had a great success in this game, bouncing around the hurdle until he's finally brought down. It set up a short yardage situation. Then the throw on the other side, that was to Ball of Norway as he was able to catch that one and then bring it down here. And that set up some more action for the Red as Garrett O'Neal back to pass, heaves one up in the middle, and Marcus McKinney, the great defensive stop.
Right, O'Neal, lucky that one didn't get picked off. Again, McKinney with the big ups. Almost grabbed that one, but not to be. O'Neal back to pass here again. This is the touchdown catch. Yeah, tipped by Team Black and able to be brought in for a touchdown. Team Red scores there. Good concentration.
Wyatt Goodwin with a great catch there that put the team back up 14-12. And in this game, it was a little bit about Team Black here as they eventually would get something happen. That's Brendan Middleton who eventually runs around the outside and puts Team Black back on top 19-14. And from there, it was all about the defense just holding out as Marcus McKinney would catch the interception to seal the deal for Team Black. Well, Jerry, it has been an awesome time calling this game with you. It was truly an awesome experience as well.
Absolutely, lots of fun. Ethan, you're going on to bigger and better things here down the road. Great to share this experience with you. We got to say a big thanks to our crew here, Sabrina Pietala running camera for us, Chad Gruenberg as the director. Big thanks to everybody involved. What an honor to be part of the 10th annual UP All-Star Football Game.
It absolutely was. It was a great week, and a lot of success went down this week. So from behalf of everybody here from TV6 and Fox UP, I'm Ethan Schmidt and Jerry Tudor. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.